Thor wouldn't abandon me like that. Yo, smarmy. Hey, all people I know and like. Pog, thank you.
And I'm lucky for
Imagine I don't get it.
Not luck of the draw when there's only a few followers. Odds are pretty high.
No, I don't think you need to be. It's a setting though. But by default, it's not. They don't need to be by default, unless you.
Really? They can just give it to anyone on Twitch? There's no way.
No. They have had needed to be in your stream. So.
Oh, okay. So it's not followers. It's just anyone who joins your stream ever.
Yeah.
Boo.
Dude.
Hey, you're up.
When I was new to Twitch, I would join every single Twitch, just in hope to get stuff. So.
More emotes, always good. Pretty sure Broken Toast of Fire is just going to annihilate me, but we'll see. If he does, good riddance, Thor. All he does is troll me anyway.
Got me an epic.
RuneFlame, thanks for the sub. I got more subs in the last 10 minutes than I've had in the history of my streams. Can you believe that? Oh, what's really fun, wait a minute. What's this? If I Alt-Tab... Look, you guys have little avatars.
Hey yo. Hey
Yo.
yo, let's go.
Just waiting on one to hop up next to XLIV. We'll get back to that though.
I like your icon. Did you draw it yourself, or did you steal it from the internet?
Stole it from the internet and then modified it. I'm not an artist. All I can do is cut and paste and fill in things with Paint Bucket.
Ride 'em, cowboy.
But I did search for, what's it called on Google. When you go to Google Images, you can search for the creative license-free ones or whatever, royalty-free. I forget what they call it. So these are all authorized for use. Oh, come on. He's gonna grapple up top? I can't get up there. Not easily.
No.
Ow! Hey, I was about the third party. That was rude.
An armor potion.
Can't fourth party the third party. Ignore that. Didn't see it.
Sorry, I was reading some bad jokes on the internet. Not laughing off your gameplay. Mr. Borti 1.5.
2.0. Oh! Everyone going after streamer. Wait, no way that guy saves me. There's no chance. He did! He killed him! This is game's mine.
Reinforcements. I got this. Healing up.
Uh-oh, fog's coming.
Giddy up,
First
Silver.
go.
Does it work? I haven't tried it.
Yeah, and the lifesteal.
Some of them get too inaccurate.
But yeah, I'm more specific for the lifesteal.
Wow, full health. Nice call. Now Thor can't leave.
He's taking that far. Yeah.
Ooh, thanks for the follow, Poco. See, Thor, who needs to forge? This stream is forge free. True. Alright, we're gonna switch over to here. Alright, let me ping Zero quick to see if he's able to come in. Norsto, yeah, that was lucky. Also, you saved me. Broken Toastifier was for sure going to kill me until you did that. I will share out a link to this document in case you want to follow along as I type. Just throw it in chat. So my plan here, you three I've heard a lot of very good feedback from in the past. I know you're all critical thinkers. RuneFlame, I don't know you that well, but I've heard plenty of your discussions. And so I thought it'd be good to get the group of us together and just run through what you're looking for if you were to ideally get what you want in a patch 2. And that is just with that base understanding, as Thor said, the team is small. They probably have their own roadmap underway. So feature requests may have to be small, low-hanging fruit type stuff, but balance-wise and small features, if there's a possibility, we can at least share it and see what they can do.
Sounds good.
Alright, so the first, I split this up into a general discussion, so this is everything outside of abilities and weapons. Then we can dive into universals and then each class. And I have one question I want to run by you three at the end around armor rarities and if there should be a white armor or not. Smarmy, yes, I can turn them up. One moment. Discord. Alright. Let me know how that is, Smarmy, if you want them higher or lower. I had them at 80%. I put them up at 110.
Hopefully we're not too loud.
Good for me. Can always adjust my headset, so even if you blow my eardrums out, it's okay.
We're just gonna blow the eardrums off the stream, yeah?
Oh, alright, I think it's good. We're good. Alright, so kicking it off, if we want to go through general discussion items, thanks for the follow, Rabbit. Figured I have a few that we can start with, and then if you want to add anything to this list, feel free. But beginning with chickens, how are you feeling on their strength in terms of their health, their movement speed, their movement abilities, respawn timers, anything chicken related? How are you feeling about them?
The rest too, or?
Res, yeah, we can talk about res. I might put it under forging, or add it under a forging topic, but yeah, chicken res mechanics, fine to talk about too.
Well, I would like to kick it off with I would like if it could be visually more if you could see if someone is resing. Like in any other games, if someone is resing, you can easily tell that they're resing. Especially in Realm, where you spawn with your entire loadout, right?
Are you saying hard to see the chickens when they res,
No,
or specifically
no.
you
If
can't
a
tell it's a
forge
res?
is resing. If a forge is resing. Right now, resing is super easy. You just drop in a forge, do the rest, whatever. But it's really difficult for the people to know if it is a res or if it's not a res in the forge.
Yeah, I agree with that. Unless you get there and it's, you see the timer before it's 30 seconds. But yeah, you never know. That's a good point, like a visual indicator.
Just like so, it's more easy to understand if someone is resing.
Right, that way you don't have to get up like really close to the forge and check out like what the res timer is at and possibly die for it or whatever.
Okay. And how would you ideally fix that?
I was jokingly saying on stream, imagine if the dragon came and just pooped out the freaking chickens. No, that's just a joke. But like, let's say
I had the
if, like,
same idea.
But like a very easy one could be like just change the color of the res, make it not golden, but maybe make it like mythic, or like I don't know, blue, green, something, Then you
Yeah.
could easily tell.
That's kind of what I was
should be
thinking,
easy.
like maybe green. And I mean, it could overtake the regular res color, or you know what I mean? Like the regular forging thing, because obviously someone's there, or, if they're doing both, if they're like crafting and resing type of thing.
Huh?
You could also add an audio cue that would be a little bit different than your regular forging, maybe, and maybe it would just be something that just goes off once and you can hear it like in a large area.
Yeah.
Oh, like in the olden days, there used to be a thunk that you could hear when the forge went off. Something like
yeah.
that.
Could be something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
It is like that in Apex, right? You hear that loud ship just. And you
Yeah,
can, like,
yeah.
see people across the map resing,
Yeah. Would you want that thunk only for reses, or for like the first time a person kicks off a forge there as well?
I would say res, because you
yeah.
can see the forge. You can see people forging anyway.
You got
Just
the
gotta-
smoke on the forge already. I think that's a
Yeah.
good enough indicator for that.
Yeah. It's just to make like res more visual, like there is someone resing here,
Sure.
Yeah, I like that.
I like CD bots. Recommendation: a big map ping above the forge, so it could be on the mini map as well.
Yeah, it could be something visual in the sky. It could like be on the forge. Just anything that like it's a little bit more indicative that someone is resing here.
Sure. Smarmy says, what about resing in other locations like the chicken monuments all over the map? What do you think of non-forge reses?
I've seen some talk in like the official Discord about that. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I think it would be okay. Maybe there's more of a penalty for that. I don't know.
Are we talking like maybe a mobile res or something like that, or would there just be different locations to res at? I don't know how I feel about either of those, honestly.
Yep. He specifically said at the chicken monuments around the map. So there's those really big chicken trophy-looking monuments. So that's
okay.
Yeah.
It would definitely split resing from forging, and then you wouldn't really need an indication on if it's a res or if it's a forge. It's an interesting idea, but I don't know how I feel about it. I don't think it's necessarily like something we need, but it could be interesting.
Okay. Something I thought was interesting potentially along that line is if there were other spots to do forging other than forges. Like if there was a little workshop on the map with, orc that you could forge maybe only a weapon or only one upgrade, or kind of like a slower way to play. I've noticed it's very busy. Games can be very, very fast-paced right now, and it removed a lot of that option to play slow. And I'm not good enough for customs to beat a lot of the people for that, so I'd like to sometimes get my gear first. What do you think of something like that, like a mini forge with limited forge options?
I mean, maybe, and like Smarmy he commented further on it. Like you would res maybe with like if you didn't use a forge, like if you do a forge res, maybe you spawn with your loadout like normal, and then if you use like another location, you spawn with like nothing, like fresh.
Oh, that could be.
Maybe in that scenario, I don't know.
Yeah, then you can like pick and choose. Like, do we have something, or like, do we just want to reset and do like a kind of free res? But another forge, like I think that will benefit a lot of less dominant teams, if that makes sense. So I would go good for that idea, to be honest. And like good teams, they're gonna be good loadouts anyway. So
Sure.
Yeah, that's I've kind of went into this trying to think more like casually because I've seen a lot of that discussion going on about how casual players just feel like it's way super sweaty. They can't really make it far in games and blah 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 blah. So that may work.
It would give less POIs or more POIs early game, so that you could have people rotating from different places and maybe less predictable even, honestly, and that would be a good thing. And it would be nice for the casual players for sure.
would be rather simple to put in, no? Like instead of putting an entire freaking forge, because there's so many places, like all the way up in the desert, like next to like Goblin Gulch, but it's all the way to the left. Like I've always been like, imagine a forge here. Oof.
Yeah,
Like a
yeah.
mini forge, like could be nice, Like
There's so many small towns. Oh, sorry, did I cut you
yeah,
off?
exactly. No, not at all.
There's so many small towns around the map that don't actually have really a purpose. Besides, like maybe the zone ends there, like the game ends on that POI. But it would be nice to see something new, like a mini forge there. It'd be really cool.
Yeah, and I think it'd be cool just because there'd be more rotation options. You wouldn't be forced to, like right now, I feel like you're almost forced to land at a forge because otherwise you end up so far behind whichever team did. So this would let you at least get a weapon or something, even if you don't get the purples of your abilities as well. Newbot said, wouldn't people camp these spots? Newbot, are you referring to the revive chicken trophies, or if mini forges were added in addition to the regular forges?
I assume they would still fall from the sky, so it would be a similar type of thing where you're not going to like, not like the old OB23 res where you just spawn right in front of the statue and just get obliterated. I would, yeah.
Yeah. I think people could camp them, but I think they'd camp it similarly to how they camp forges today, and doing that I feel like you would get behind. Because you're not getting your forges by doing rapid rotations. You might get some shards, but shards are easy now.
One thing about splitting the res and the forge up is maybe if people do decide to camp a res and they want to go for those kills, then at least they can't be forging while they're waiting on someone to finish their res, which would be actually a nice thing.
Yeah, sacrifice there. Yep.
I really like Frosty's idea. If there were mini res spots or mini forges, making them dynamic per game where they are, so it's not always the same spot each game.
Isn't that a little like what's the game? Blood Hunt? Didn't they change a res location? Does anyone know? I just played it a little bit.
Yeah, I also just played a little bit. I'm not even sure.
But they had like those random ass res locations. But a random, yeah, it could be nice.
How do you feel about forge costs, forging speeds, everything like that? And especially gold weapons. I noticed a lot of people right now are getting their legendary weapon at their first forge. I'm curious how you three feel about that.
Well, if sometimes some people can't get their legendary weapon, right? And that sucks for them because then they're super behind. So like having like a time limit, like let's say 3-4 minutes into the game, before you can forge your legendary, because that also forces you to get out of the forge. Because now people literally in custom games, they stay there for 7-8 minutes, and I'm just mind blown. Like, you know, like I'm just sitting there waiting for them to leave. 8 minutes into the game, they're still forging in freaking Sentinel Hold or whatever, and I don't understand how. You know.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
But if you can't upgrade to gold before, like, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 minutes into the game, 5 maybe, because people loot for 2-3 minutes and then they forge. But would people rather just chill in one forge, or would they rotate? That's like the whole question.
I think I agree. It's like, it's nice coming out with your legendary, but at the same time, it's like, oh, I'm still here. Yeah, it's like one of those things. Like I feel like I can't leave without getting my legendary, or I'll be behind. Right. So it's one of those. It's one of those things. But then we also have to think, like, you can get legendaries out of chests and goblins and stuff like that. So if we can't forge or upgrade until that point, then there's more of an RNG element for people that do go for the chests, or, you know, just get lucky. Like, I don't know.
One thing I was just randomly thinking, what if you, like, nobody can forge upgrade to legendary items, but after the 10-minute mark, every epic weapon in the game turns into legendary. That's just some random ass thought, just thrown out there. So you kind of get like, you get, everyone gets a legendary weapon, right? And you get like, what's it called? You get rewarded for staying alive.
I see what you're saying. That just might promote more camping instead of like forge hopping and fighting. Like, I think they were initially trying to do.
Because if everyone has epic items, right?
Yeah, you might be right. I don't know. I don't know how that play out. But I understand what you're saying.
No.
I definitely understand what you're saying. Yeah.
If we don't want legendary weapons on 2-minute mark, you know, and
yeah, it would be more even up until that point. Yeah.
I think it feels pretty nice to be able to upgrade at your first forge to a legendary weapon. I think the reason that it works is because if you want to only go for an epic item, and you think, you know, well, maybe I can just go for my epic item, get out of this forge and go push another forge, right? You might actually be fast enough to do that to where you can actually push another forge while they're upgrading. So if you're fast enough, you might be able to catch someone upgrading, which is a risk, you know. If you would increase the upgrade time, it would be even more of a risk and could be better, but I don't like waiting that long personally.
Yeah, I get that. Like you drop crossing, your team comes out, you know, you kill like 8 people or something. You have enough shards there to forge everything and then get your upgrade like immediately. So then you're also getting rewarded for fighting and winning, right? Like taking a forge basically. Yeah. So yeah, I guess it goes both ways.
Mm-hmm. I think you can upgrade to epic and get away with it. You can go push another forge while someone is still upgrading or still forging if they're going to go for their legendaries, and you can actually win those fights sometimes just because of how much less time it takes to get your epics than it does to get your legendaries. So I feel like it feels pretty balanced right now, like if you look at it that way.
Yeah, we might be overthinking it. It does feel pretty good right now. I understand, I guess, both sides of it, but oh yeah, like Idiot Mouse just said, there's that risk and reward. Yep.
What do you think if legendary, or I should say, when you forged a slot, it locked kind of that slot in the upgrade as well? Kind of like you forge a warrior weapon, you then can't forge a universal weapon. What if that also meant you couldn't upgrade that weapon? So you have to go to a second forge to get the upgrade?
I think that could be actually very interesting. I actually went through my mind as we were talking about this. That way it would basically force you to go to a second forge if you want that legendary, which is even more high risk, high risk, high reward type deal, which would be fine. I mean, yeah, it'd be definitely interesting to try it out.
Yep. Yeah. My thought there is maybe it would force that rotation because people are living in forges so long. This would, if they don't want to be fighting epics against legendaries, it would force them to make those fast early rotations as opposed to getting their epic, going out looting more, upgrading at that same forge.
Definitely. Right now, you're almost guaranteed in customs. At least you're almost guaranteed to be able to get your legendary before someone pushes you because everyone's going for their legendaries.
Mm.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. How about forge costs as a whole versus the shard economy? How do you feel about them?
Personally, I love it.
Yeah, it
I-
feels good.
Feels really good for me.
Good. Just gonna note that down here.
Is there I don't know if what can be said or whatever or what you know, or is there a plan? Is there any changes to the res timer? I remember I remember seeing some like talk about it. I just wasn't sure about that. Or maybe maybe there doesn't need to be a change if there is a mini res type deal or whatever. But
So I got distracted by the Realm CEO for a moment responding.
saw that. That's the only cost thing that I've seen, I think, discussion over. As far as everything else, I think it'd be okay. And I don't even think it's the cost. Actually, I think it's more of the timing of it, especially with more end circles not ending on Forge. Like, you know, which I guess it's almost impossible, especially if there's like a minute circle. You know what I mean? And you get the res off, it's always like a 90-second or something. So that was the only thing that I've seen a lot of discussion about.
What do you think about a lower timing than 90 then? So if we talk about the chicken resing and the chicken res cost and then the chicken res time, what would you put as your cap?
I think cost is fine because, you know, shards aren't an issue, right?
Yeah, definitely not.
But just there's times where like you can get there right when a circle closes at the end, and if it's a 90-second res, that chicken's dead. Like if it's outside, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing that I've seen. I mean, I've experienced it. I've seen talk about it, the whole thing. So
Yeah.
I don't know that answer, but yeah.
I would almost
Like-
agree with Arrow Cloud with the 45 seconds. I feel like that would be a good time even for high kills.
Yeah, 30 was too low on PTS. I know that wasn't intended, but 90 in some of these maybe is too strong, unless fog damage is, you know, another topic I saw. So maybe that comes up there too. I don't know if that changes anything.
Sure. Do you all like 45 seconds as a max instead of 90?
Yeah, I would like it.
Yeah, somewhere from like 45 to a minute would be probably plenty. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say like 50 seconds. It's only 5-second difference, but that, like, you know, where the zone is like 1 minute, so it's not a free res, you know, but you can make it res, you know.
Mm-hmm. Sure. We can leave that. And then on cost, do you like that it goes up by 10 per kill? Or should it be changed to more or less than that? Or some other mechanic like time?
I don't have a problem with the cost. Honestly, that's never been an issue. I don't think it should necessarily be like, you know, free. So I'm okay with that personally.
Yeah, it's no issues getting shards, so
Mhm.
10 per kill, it's no problem whatsoever.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like it's perfectly fine the way it is. Takes shards, but not too many.
Okay. Cool. Noted. I added one here on potions. Idiot Mouse said the 10-10 cap is too low. How do you feel about that?
Now there's way less heals in the game, and therefore not taking fights is more rewarded than taking fights, unless you absolutely steamroll somebody. But like a decent amount of fight and you're without potions. So I would definitely want some more potions in the game as it's currently played.
Yep. What would you lean towards? 15-15, 20-20, 12-12? What are you thinking?
Like 13, 15, somewhere there. Not 20. That sounds like a lot. You know?
Personally, I would be leaning towards 15 for sure, maybe 20.
Maybe 20. Jesus.
I would like to try out 15 for sure. I think maybe not, you know, make it not make too big of a change too soon, you know. So like go with 15 and then see how that feels.
What if just taking it from like another angle? What if potions just healed for more, or vice versa. You know what I mean? Like armor, like just a little bit more. I'm not talking like crazy things, not like double or anything like that. But would 10 still work in that scenario? Say if they were 450 or something, or is that too much, too quick?
I'd be a little concerned with how that affects the fighting in general. I
Yeah.
feel like if they're
Yeah.
bigger potions, then you either have to make them take longer, which means it's a bigger window of vulnerability, or I could see a different potion type maybe in addition to that where you have to stand still or something.
Personally, as far as potions go, I would love to see the 500 per potion come back and stand still to heal.
Didn't take like 5 seconds to do it then? You stand still 5 seconds and then like you get a chunk of heal? Isn't that how it was?
Yeah, and you could cancel it, I think.
Okay.
That would eliminate the like kind of run and heal mechanic or like meta, I should say, that we have right now. I feel like every time you shoot someone, they just start running and healing.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
I mean, it's true, but you could also like nerf like a bigger percentage slow when healing.
You could do that
Like
too.
now it's like what? I don't know. It's not much percentage. It's like what, 20% maybe max?
I'm not sure what the actual numbers are.
Oh, Shiz has an interesting
Feels
idea.
like it.
Did you see that idea, Ed, where instead of 15-15, it's just 30, and then you choose which ones you want in there? So you could have 25 armor, 5 health, vice versa,
Mhm.
whatever.
Oh, interesting.
I
That
actually
would
really like that idea. I think it'd be super cool to do it that way. Gives you more
that
freedom.
would that would buff Mage crazy, to be in my opinion.
That's a good point too. Yeah, since
That is a
healing's
good
less,
point.
they're the ones who can heal. Really, yeah.
Yeah.
Or really any healing class, because then they could just take more armor.
Any healing as in Mage currently, yeah.
Yep. Well, yeah, healing totem, I suppose. But that's not as
True.
good.
True. You could that would actually make totem maybe more into the play if you're running around with frickin' 25 fucking armor. Oh, sorry, frickin' armor.
I wonder how that would work as far as the UI goes. Like, what would it look like if you had 30 potions, 25-5, and you wanted to swap 5 of those with something on the ground, or 10 of them?
I guess you just have to drop however many you want to swap for.
I'll just put could have UI implications. I think the lowball easy approach is just increase the cap. I think that there would be some issues that changing it to be universal would have, as far as
Yeah.
like you'd have to, because it's kind of clunky to have to go in your inventory and drop 5 and yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that.
Yep. Yeah. All right. How about the fog? How do you like the current ratio of forge and non-forge endings?
As far as endings go, I think it's pretty good. I think it's like 50-50 almost. How many end on Forge and how many don't? I mean, maybe even more ending off of Forge than on.
Yeah.
Um,
It's more of
I would, however,
so.
like to see end circles like out on the ice outside of Ice Haven. I don't want that to take it out. It's really bad to have an end circle end on literally nothing but just flat ice and there's no cover or anything.
Mm. Any spots other than Ice Haven you can think of that are bad like that? Oh, Idiot
Um,
Mouse mentioned Sentinel and Autumn as one.
mhm. There were a couple different ones. I would have to actually go in game, or I'd have to like go back in VODs and stuff and look at them. I forget what they all were.
All right, got those added. For general stuff, Aerocloud mentioned. Actually, I'll get to that in a moment. I want to stay on the fog first. Razi mentioned he doesn't like the starting circle. I assume that means the red fog on the map.
Okay.
Do you like the red fog starting on the map or not?
Personally, I like it.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, I also like it.
All right. Anyone in chat other than Razi not like it? I can do a poll. All right.
It's just so we
I'll
can't
do it.
drop autumn fields.
Now the damage, I'm okay with it, but I understand from a casual perspective how maybe at least the first circle, maybe we could
Yeah.
tone that one down a bit.
It hurts.
I have to pay a lot more attention now because I'm just like dad braining it up, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh shit, and I'm just lost half my arm or something.
Yeah, the first circle really hurts. I mean, all the circles really hurt, but I think we could tune it down a little bit. Maybe the first, or maybe even the first like 2.
First 2-ish circles, you thinking?
Yeah, but I would say it wouldn't hurt to look at maybe the first 2 circles for sure.
All right. How do you feel about the end game circles and that damage? Do you think that's at a good place, or should it have some changes as well?
I'd
haven't
rather.
really been.
Sorry, go ahead, Borti.
I haven't really been in the fog, in the end zone. But or no, I was today actually. And I mean, like you're in the end zone, you shouldn't really be there anyway. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're not supposed to be in it, and you're especially end game. I mean, it's all about position, right? So I think that's all right.
I actually remember a game back in 2019, I think it was, where I played a game that was there was old money on the line, and I stayed in a house in the zone at the end of the game. There were 3 of us left. It was solos. I stayed in a house at the end of the game, and I was just healing in zone. I let the 2 others fight, and then I came out of the zone and killed them both. And I don't think that should be possible. So I like it hitting pretty hard at the end zone.
Cool. So I'll put
Yeah,
just the
but,
early, then I'll leave the end game out.
Yeah, early game fogs, because especially casual players, some don't look at the fog, and then it literally murders them.
Yeah, like give them a little bit of a
Also, if you
warning
get
or
gate kept, like in Apex at least, if you get gate kept, you can take the long way, but you will lose all your healing, but you will survive. Here, at least currently, it's over.
Got it. How do you feel about the fog sizes and timings?
personally, I don't mind it.
Yeah, I can't think of any complaints. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say the same. I can't think of any complaints, so I don't know if I would change anything with it.
I'm gonna screenshot something quick. There's one change that Kodak brought up that I was reviewing. Let me just put a screenshot over here. Zoom in a bit. So these are the current circle sizes as you go through the map. And if you look at these circles, in particular this one, the 1, 2, 3, the third circle from the end, that one has a pretty big jump a lot of times I've seen in customs, and has more RNG than the other circles since people are taking up positions a lot of times there. So the suggestion was to find a way to lower that RNG, and the brainstorm option I have is take that second to last circle and the very last circle, increase their size by about 25%, and that way your final closing circle is a bit bigger, but it also makes that jump between those two a little bit less. Does that make sense?
I actually, now that you're mentioning this, I did read up on. I think it was in your notes. I saw that, and I actually really like that idea. I think oftentimes you can really get screwed over when you're in a house and you're thinking the circle's gonna move one way or the other way, and you're like kind of not sure, so you camp one house, and then it moves like the exact opposite way than you were thinking, and then you basically just lose the game because of it. But that's only in competitive.
Yeah.
Casuals, it doesn't matter as much.
Okay. Yeah, and I haven't heard many issues around those other circles. It's specifically those last three in customs where I've heard, and really that one jump where it goes from a 15,000 radius to a 6,000.
It's that one that always gets you.
Yep, yeah, that's the only one I've heard, and that, yeah, okay. Get this back to the right size. Here we go. Chickens, we didn't talk much about the res mechanic itself of it being in the sky. We only talked about the res showing when a res is happening. Overall, what do you think of them being in the sky?
Is there still a plan to? I know this was talked about at one point. Just making them not in the sky as long, like maybe like 50% of where they are now, so that they actually have to be a chicken on the ground for a little bit, like a couple seconds or something. I know that we had kind of discussed some stuff like that in the past. I don't know if that is in the cards or anything.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's officially been said on that. Thor, are you still hanging around in the chat? I haven't seen you talk in a while.
Just because, yeah, you can't see them until they get close, and then when they land, if you're using your double jumps and all that, then maybe.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the only thing. Like, they basically are up by the time they land.
Okay. All right. Yep. He
I would
said
like to
he's
see
planning to lower them next
perfect.
patch. So.
Okay, cool.
I'd say that's
Then that's
perfect
good.
change to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. Yeah, and then hopefully if they're lowered, that would. I agree. It's like we have a clip of Tep dropping from the sky, doing it right, and killing us with a slug from the sky before he hit the ground. It was pretty toxic.
I think I saw that. Yeah, that was pretty insane.
Yep. Ooh, fungal and underpass is getting new logic to work with it. Leaks
Oh,
here.
nice, awesome.
Nice. Oh, Borti, I'm gonna pass along your invite to Thor. I don't know if he'll hop on or not, but maybe later we can have a surprise appearance. Alright. So, other than that though, all of you like the sky chickens, just not that you're reviving so early?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's worked out pretty good. I don't know. I never die, so whatever. No, I'm just kidding.
Haven't been rezzed yet.
Borty, I saw you shoot Dijo out of the sky the other day. That was pretty cool. Something I personally had trouble with is actually seeing where they're going during the revive. I can't really tell till they're pretty low to the ground and kind of have to guess. Are you guys able to see the chickens in the sky consistently and know like which direction they're dropping?
Not before like the last 3 seconds.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
quick.
It's very quick. Yeah, I've successfully sniped one out of the air so far, and it was not easy.
Okay. Okay, yeah, something that could be helpful there is something to make them easier to see. I don't know if that means like a fiery glow around them as they're falling, or something on the mini map. I have trouble seeing them falling, so I don't think I've killed one out of there yet. What do you think of adding some sort of thing to see them easier in the sky?
Just like a
Depends
particle
how,
trail or something. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Particle trail, highlight, a big arrow from character, just something to make them more visible.
I guess if we lower where they spawn at, they shouldn't be falling quite as fast when they get
Yeah,
to
that's
the
what I was
to the
thinking.
ground,
I was
and
like,
it'll be easier. Yeah, it'll be easier to see.
Oh, that's a good
it
point.
depends how low, like the change will be, is what I was instantly thinking.
I'll just put chickens are hard to see, but might be solved if chickens are lowered then. A11 says, respawn chickens for 10 to 15 seconds, visual effect, maybe stronger gravity. Oh, stronger gravity is interesting, so they hit the ground sooner, so that you then are on the ground as a chicken for a longer period. I'm not opposed to that. I'll put it here for as a food for thought. Okay. All right. Moving on, I think the last thing I have on general is bugs. If there's anything, or what are your most critical bugs? I know there's a ton of them, but what are your most critical bugs to revive or fix if you each got to pick 3?
That tapper is not banned yet. I know it's a bug and it will happen soon, but now other than that, I mean, it's only the known bugs. Like some grappling, you know. Could be me being very bad. I mean, I don't
What's
know if you
grapple
saw.
bug specifically? I think there's a few.
Mountains. Like, I am scared, like, to use grapple mountains at all. Like, I don't know if you saw what happened to me yesterday, or when Tepper killed me. It was basically, it's a mountain outside Guntown, right? And I hit the top part, so nothing should like block my head, right? But somehow, instead of like having the momentum and going straight up, I get forced to the ground. I can find a clip of it on my stream or Tepper's team. But it's like I add what's it called? It's like I get increased gravity and it just slammed to the ground. Like I got hit by a net shot or something.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I've definitely had it quite a few times when I tried to grapple up a mountain. You get to the top and it's just like where your grapple
Yeah.
ends, you just like it's basically like your head hits the ceiling and you just fall straight down.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was gonna say the no regs, and then I was also gonna say about the sniper. I think Arrow mentioned it. I don't know how to replicate it, but I've had a couple games where I like don't have to reload my sniper rifle. I don't know how you get. It doesn't last forever, but like 4 or 5 shots in a row. It's especially with legendary sniper. That's pain.
Okay. It just
And
doesn't.
those bullets, they count, or like do they actually do damage, or?
Oh no, they count.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find a clip or something. I had it happen the other night, and then I was actually watching somebody else, and it happened, and they didn't realize what was going on, and they're like, "Wait, I don't have to reload?" And yeah.
Another bug that I can think of is Lightfoot Potion. Sometimes when you use Lightfoot Potion on yourself, it like you throw it on the ground and it just doesn't work. And you just stand there awkwardly in the middle of nowhere.
I've noticed that. I feel like there's invisible spots around the map almost, because I don't have it happen often if I self-cast it, like if I double tap it and cast it in my own face. But I have it when I hit the ground, almost like like the smoothing the terrain suggestion might help.
Yeah, I think it's a terrain issue as well. I don't ever like actually self-cast it. I always throw it on the ground at my feet. So.
It's not no reg, by the way. It will reload on its own for the sniper.
Oh, okay. Got
It's
it.
like, and maybe it is tied into potions. I was just reading Arrow's thing again. It's like if you shoot and like spam a potion, maybe that's what it is. I don't actually know, but yeah, you get stuck in some kind of weird. I'm not sure. I'll have to try to find a clip, like I said.
Okay. Sounds good. Oh, I agree, Poco. Throwing Lightfoot potions on your teammate chicken is amazing. They can go so high. Also, for anyone who doesn't know, Lightfoot potions stack. So if you cast 3 of them on a chicken, or even on a person, you can jump almost over the Trinity Forge. On a chicken, you can go like twice as high as the Crossing Forge.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I actually tried that. It's pretty cool.
And then another one, I know you talked about like the terrain getting stuck. I think I was playing with Filer one night, and he actually grabbed a couple clips of different things that we got stuck on. But I just lost my thought, so I'll come back.
Okay, I just added rough terrain in random spots on here.
Yeah. But one thing I was thinking, like how new beginner friendly do we want the game to be? Because not we, but like Hi-Rez. I was because potions in general, they're kind of buggy, as when you throw them at your feet, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't because of the stuff beneath. But I was thinking like if you want to dumb it down a little bit, because I've seen a lot of new players kind of complaining about it, and then like that it's difficult to use or whatever. But I was thinking like, what if you for you using one of those potions, you get like either the full effect or like a percentage of that effect, even if you don't throw it at yourself. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That would potentially like you would never have those no regs anyway.
Almost like how shielding or not shield, yeah,
Yeah.
like shielding shout works,
Shielding shout,
except
yeah, exactly.
maybe it's some other type of thing with the potion. Break it on your
Mhm.
forehead or something.
So you're saying you would rather want it like as a shout rather than a throwable?
No. Like I want it as a throwable, but it will automatically. I don't know. Would it make sense? But it would give you the effect. Maybe 100% of the effect, but or maybe like 50, 80, 70% of the effect. If you don't throw it at yourself, but or on your friend or a teammate or like like.
So if you would throw it, like let's say I want to throw it on my teammate, I throw it at him, he gets 100% effect, and I get 50% effect or whatever.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay, that could be interesting.
Like then you at least get the effect always,
Right.
and it never no regs.
But sometimes you get 50%, sometimes you get 100%. Depends on how you want to use it.
Yeah.
Or maybe if you use it on yourself, you get 150% effect.
The other thing I was going to say was I don't know if something changed with like player audio, because it's not always there, but there's times where there's like no footsteps. People are just like on you. You know what I mean? I know I've heard and I've seen it happen to many others as well.
I think that's the mount enemy audio one here. I can expand on it.
Okay. I did miss that. There you go.
Mount audio should be a little nerfed, like increase it a little bit, I think. Because right now it's very hard to hear, but it's also like footsteps are difficult to hear now because the game is way more spammy. You have spammy axe, spammy crossbow, spammy heirloom, spammy shots in general. You have abilities you throw left and right, and then you have the grapple hook where you don't hear people in the air. Like you would hear people soaring, you would hear people in leap, but grapple hook you cannot hear them mid-air, right? So
yeah, I think we need a zip line type sound for the grapple hook. As like that would be a fairly loud type sound, and it's easy to imagine.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of comments in the Discord too, which you have to take sometimes with a grain of salt, but people talking about like mounts being pay to win, if they're quieter, that whole deal.
Oh yeah,
I don't
definitely.
think they were before, but I don't think they are anymore. Now it's pretty much the same.
I agree with you, Borti, 100%. Some of the mounts they were talking about, it makes no sense, but just throwing it out there.
Yeah, there we go. What Thor said, that's exactly what we need.
So
Hey,
Thor said
Thor.
mount audio is going up across the board.
Perfect.
Footsteps for
Perfect.
enemies are going up, and allies are going down. Nice.
You know, Thor, you could save us a lot of time, buddy, if you just
Yeah,
hopped in here.
Save us some
It's like
time and
it's like
say what you're gonna do. Hello.
it's like okay, this is exactly we're gonna do all this, so you guys
Exactly
have
what we
no need to
wanted.
talk about all this. It's like he's reading our minds.
It sounds like he's already doing the things we want, so that's good.
Yeah.
Any other bugs that you would rank at the top of your list? Like I said, I know there's hundreds of them, but like
I
top
don't know
top
if you
things if there was a focus.
I don't know if you got the bug that Mouse had mentioned earlier about if you land on your teammates, you can't crouch for the rest of the game. The crouch bug.
Yep,
That one.
got that.
That one's huge. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Alright, if there's no more top bugs, then move on to universal weapons and abilities. Let me pull up the PTS stat doc for this, which is the same as live right now. And I can link it for anyone who doesn't have it. Oh, I need to somehow offset this so that it's in the center of my screen. You know what I can do? I can just hide my trash can.
No, don't take
You
the
can
trash
add
can
a
away.
row. You can add a row, no? Like add another A.
Yeah, but this is the public document. Like it's out there
Oh.
for
Okay.
a lot of people beyond just my.
You can just take it out of full screen, you know, and just move it over.
Yeah, I'm starting the application though. Oh wait.
Oh, I got you.
Dang it. That's alright. This is fine. New streamer, thanks for the patience. There. Alright, perfect. Actually, since I can just do this, since we're missing a person, I'm now with everybody else.
Hey, let's go.
Welcome. Alright, so the first thing I want to go through was all the universal weapons, and then also the universal abilities, and any changes you would see to any of these. So, first, what do you think needs a buff?
Buff wise? Oh, okay. No, I ain't got
None of
anything
that?
for you.
LMG and auto sniper, I think, need a buff.
Oh no.
I think Thor said on the official Discord that the auto sniper is getting a slight increase in speed, I think, and a new crosshair or something like that. But yeah, otherwise, if I'm not taking that into account, I agree. I think he already stated that publicly. I could be wrong. Yeah, it has to be because I don't have any like insiders.
How do you feel about the changes of? Right now it's 1.2 per second, I think. Let me check.
I think it was projectile
There
speed,
it
so I
is,
think it was
1.2.
going to be. Yeah, I think that's what he was saying.
I definitely want to see the auto sniper be able to shoot a little bit faster, maybe bring it more in line with the slug. I mean,
So
not
right
make it shoot as
now-
fast as a slug, but not make it shoot as fast as a slug. I'm just saying it would bring it more like up to par with a slug as far as like how strong it is.
Okay, got it. So buff. So right now it's 1.2 for how fast it shoots. So every 1.2 seconds it can shoot one bullet. How fast would you ideally picture it being to be balanced?
Honestly, that's not what I was. I was speaking to the projectile speed, increasing that just a smidge.
Okay.
If both of those things were done, it maybe would be too good. I don't know.
Okay. So the way
Yeah.
auto sniper is right now, auto sniper is at 1500, which is the same projectile speed that the sniper on OB23 had. And then the assassin sniper ended up getting a buff from 1500 up to 1850. So the sniper rifle on assassin is actually 350 faster than the OB23 sniper was.
And the longbow is 1500, which is same as the auto sniper.
Yep, longbow and auto sniper have the same projectile speed. And the fall off is tied to the projectile speed. So right now the longbow and the auto sniper would have the same projectile drop.
So the auto sniper basically does less. It does less damage than the longbow, and it takes longer to shoot than the longbow, right?
But it's a
Yes.
neutral weapon as
But
well.
it's a neutral with their
it
balance
is.
below class weapons. Yep.
Mm-hmm. I think you could up either the refire rate or the damage, either one, and like slightly, very slightly. Like honestly, if you up the refire rate, just put it to like 1.1, like
Yeah.
maybe
that's-
1.0, maybe, but I feel like that's almost too strong.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw Idiot Mouse's suggestion, but I think that's awesome. He said that legendary neutrals should have like an extra perk, like no bloom on the slug. That might be too strong, but an extra bullet like on the auto sniper. He says it like adds variety and forces people to choose between upgrading their class weapons or neutral. Like that's actually a pretty cool idea.
Alright, I got that added in. So if the fire rate went from 1.2 between shots to 1.1, how do you feel about the damage on it? The actual damage each shot is doing, the headshot multiplier, and the ammo.
I mean, I wouldn't mind giving it like what 20 damage more to the auto sniper, and with a increased like shots between the shots, I think that should be decent enough for the auto sniper.
Yeah, I don't think it needs too much more, like he said.
Too much
and
love.
I think the 3 bullets is a pretty sweet spot right now, honestly. Because if it's a little bit more than that, yeah, you're looking at one clipping people, right?
Yep. So
Yeah.
if a slight damage increase, maybe 20 damage.
Yeah, because if you get gate kept by that weapon, if it gets too much nerf, it's not gonna feel great at all. And
Yeah.
whatever class has that is gonna have a really strong close range weapon, like the axe.
So who
I
said,
don't
who was it, RuneFlame or XLIV? Who said LMG needed a buff?
Yeah, I did. The only reason that I say LMG needs a buff is because LMG will literally lose a fight to a Gatekeeper or pistol or revolver, literally like SMG, like
Fair enough.
anything. Like it's just worse. It just does less damage. I don't know. I don't think it really needs that much of a buff, but maybe something. Is it
Audio
really
nerf,
needed?
please. Audio nerf, please.
Yeah, audio nerf,
Yeah.
please. Oh my gosh, it's way too loud.
Say nerfed
Oh.
LMG audio.
Because that was the only thing I was thinking about when you said buff the LMG, then people are gonna use it, and then imagine like 4 people end zone using LMG. Like, oh no.
Another fix to the LMG would be to nerf the Gatekeeper, bring it more in line with the LMG, which I wouldn't mind actually.
Yeah, what's up with a gatekeeper? That
It-
thing
it
slaps
melts.
now.
It
Yeah,
melts.
I was
So
getting
there's
destroyed.
a couple changes. So first on LMG, to go through that. So LMG is actually substantially weaker than on OB23. I was doing some testing earlier this week, and at range the damage drop goes all the way down to 54 and 54 per bullet. And if you're beyond about 40 meters, you can beat it consistently with an SMG, an assault rifle, a pistol, a gatekeeper. Literally every single hipfire weapon beats the LMG once you get beyond 40 meters. And that's because the accuracy was nerfed drastically on the LMG. So I think even if the damage fall off stays the same, where it goes down to 54 a bullet, I think a huge part of the reason the LMG feels weak on Reforged is because the accuracy now reaches the minimum after I think 4 or 5 bullets, and it's a huge minimum.
I definitely felt that I used the LMG like once or twice maybe, and it definitely just isn't good.
For Gatekeeper, on the other hand, that one got a bug fix, which ended up making it stronger. Let me note this LMG one first. Alright, the other thing for Gatekeeper, so Gatekeeper, it has 300 ammo, and every shot uses 3 ammo, so it's essentially 100 shotgun bursts, each shot shooting 3 ammo. On OB23, it was actually bugged, where it would use 3 ammo, but only shoot 2 bullets, each bullet dealing 100 damage, so you'd do 200 damage per shot of those 100 shots. The fix was to make it so that it actually shoots all 3. The damage was still split, so it's not 3 damages bullets at 100. It's actually 3 bullets each dealing 60. So the total DPS is actually nerfed, but that third bullet makes it much more consistent. So what you're feeling, or the reason Gatekeeper is feeling stronger, even though the DPS is nerfed, is because the consistency is increased by having that spread of those 3 bullets more likely to hit than the spread of the 2 bullets.
More bullets hitting.
Thanks, Thor, for calling me a nerd. Anyway, if that makes sense. So, that's what you're feeling on the Gatekeeper for why it's feeling stronger, is that consistency. The question then becomes, how do you nerf that?
Can we just bring that bug back?
You could. So the way that you'd bring that back is, instead of having it show 300 ammo, or to bring it back without having the bug, is have it go from 300 to 200 ammo, and change it back to shooting only 2 projectiles.
I think it would be fine if it was like it was last patch, honestly.
I mean, it was even getting banned from some tournaments I saw was getting hosted. So it wasn't a horrible weapon on live. I mean, controllers feared it, so...
Yeah, I mean, if you caught somebody out with it, they were melted, you know, on OB23 for sure.
Yeah, I saw, was a Giant using it in customs, and he melted someone with it. I mean, they had no chance because he caught him. Like, they had nothing to hide behind.
I think bringing it back to 2 bullets is not the worst idea. Because it wasn't horrible. Definitely was not. But I mean, it is kind of a meme gun. In all honesty.
Yeah, that's true. It's not like, you know, it's still, you could still easily beat it, but yeah, it's definitely, there is a difference.
Got it. So I put all the changes there needed to bring it back to OB23, which is changing the damage per bullet from 60 to 100, changing the bullet shot per shoot from 3 back to 2, and then changing the ammo from 300 to 200. In reality, it was like 200 before. It just used an extra bullet or an extra ammo for every 2 it shot.
I like those changes.
Gizmo asked if we've already discussed Gatekeeper Plus and Rage. So this would somewhat fix that, because this would nerf Gatekeeper as a whole back to the old version. What's that, Borti? You said, is there
even, like, I tried Enrage and Gatekeeper, I don't know if it was bugged, but I didn't really feel any insane effects of it shooting faster or whatnot. Maybe, I don't know, I didn't feel any major difference.
Yep, I felt the same. I also didn't notice a major difference. XLIV RuneFlame, have you tried Gatekeeper and Rage?
I haven't.
I have not.
I'll leave that one off for now, if no one else has felt that. Naman said the shotgun is boring, they should nerf the damage and the mag count, but buff the fire rate and ADS switch. Does anyone I feel like in the old days there was a faster shotgun, wasn't there? Like, it had fast swap, and that's what created that swap meta where you're in every other shot with the shotgun.
There was definitely a meta where you would swap slug shotgun.
We're talking about a different.
Oh, and there was an
shotgun, which
entirely
is
different
still-
shotgun as well, the combat
Oh,
shotgun,
yeah.
where it actually had a really fast attack rate on top of that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that, especially if you keep the knockback. That seems like it would be rough.
But the knockback now isn't
Yeah.
not that great though.
I thought the
Is it?
knockback was removed fully in Reforged.
It's
Oh.
not fully, but there's
Yeah.
like, I mean, it's the same knockback you will had. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. But it's a little knockback, but it's not completely gone. Not that I like. I was getting shot by a shotgun, and it felt like I was getting shot at least. So I was thinking shotgun was pretty bad now, to be honest, without the knockback. But it is there a little bit. No?
I don't think because knockback descopes you, and I didn't think I got descoped from
No, I
the
didn't get
shotgun
descoped.
anymore.
No, I didn't.
Okay, I think any knockback causes a descope, so I don't think it's on there, but I can definitely
Yeah,
check it out. test.
like he said, there's like a camera shake, which is normal, no?
Yeah, the camera shake is normal. Just the knockback to an enemy where it knocks an enemy back.
Hmm. But it didn't unscope me. That.
Yeah. I did notice the shotgun's pretty inconsistent. Like, you can be at the same range, have both people standing still, shoot it, and the damage you deal can be 400 or 800. Have you felt similar?
Absolutely, I've seen that. Yep.
Okay. So
Or-
I think there's
Or two
something there.
identical shots doing different damage, like from you. Yep.
I have not used it enough.
Yeah, I would say
definitely.
outside of getting it out of my first chest, I'm generally not using it, to be fair. But yeah.
Got it. Alright, going back to this list, the PTS stats. Any other ones on here that you would want to see touched? I know Burst Rifle got a nerf between OB23 and Live. I especially wonder how that... I saw Ipoko's in here. I especially wonder for any of our council people how Burst Rifle feels, given that it's kind of a council weapon.
It still hurts. I know that.
Yeah.
What was the nerf? Are you just talking about? Was it actual damage nerf, or are you just talking about the ammo nerf?
Only 3 ammo. Nothing else got
Okay,
changed on
okay.
it.
Yeah. All right.
Really?
Yeah.
It feels like it shoots different now. That could be me just with the I don't know. I feel like
it got other changes.
that's just me. Like I feel like it shoots different than before. Yeah, exactly, Gizmo. It feels more accurate than before.
The only related change that I can think of off the top of my head is that all weapons have in-air accuracy now. It used to be if you jump, if you are falling off a tall terrain, whatever, there was an accuracy penalty where you had a separate accuracy from on the ground. Now when you're in the air, your accuracy is the same as hip fire. So maybe that could have affected it somehow, that feeling. I think was hip fire touched? I don't know. I'd have to check with Thor. I guess he's in here. On if burst rifle from OB23 and launch were changed. I don't know offhand. Oh, thanks for the sub, Poco. Appreciate it. Okay, but if it feels good now, that's good. How do you feel about burst rifle at range? I've heard a couple people mention that it's too oppressive at long ranges, those like 100 to 200 meter ranges, especially in open areas.
It's really good for dismounting for sure. It can definitely take people's armor off pretty quickly. It's a pretty good tool for that.
Okay. Do you feel like it's at an okay amount at there, or do you think, or would you nerf it?
I don't think it's OP. Definitely not
Yeah.
OP. It's a little bit
used.
oppressive maybe, but I don't mind it.
Nah. I think it's fine where it is.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think you do that, and you're gonna mess with a certain aspect of the community. Too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely
Let's
true.
be nice to them.
Absolutely, yeah.
Alright, I'm just gonna note that here.
Yeah, also what Mouse said.
Mm-hmm.
Devastates armor potion economies, which it should. If armor potions are improved, burst gets an indirect nerf. That's true. Okay, what else do we
Yeah.
have? Burst, aim assist, headshots consistently. Prefer 180 to 200, and fire rate. So A11 wants a faster fire rate and more damage on it. I don't personally agree with that. I think that would make burst too strong.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think that would be real. Feels bad.
Yeah, definitely. I would probably rock a burst over my longbow.
Okay, cool. So that one's in a good place. Anything else on this? How do you feel about the slug at the 45 versus the 500 that it has on live? And I guess perfect accuracy on live now versus some inaccuracy added.
I've gotten used to it, so I don't mind it.
Yeah.
Honestly, it feels fine with all the changes in the game. To me, I've seen the discussions both ways, but overall, I think it's in an okay spot. Yeah.
And then another one that got a big change is the assault rifle. So that got almost a full rework in terms of the feel, where it's a slower shooting, a little bit harder shooting, different accuracy, all that. Have you tried it yet?
Yeah. I was gonna bring that up. I was gonna bring up that in SMG. I know SMG got some changes too. I've ran in since release. I've ran into quite a few console squads that just upgrade ARs and SMGs, and it is painful. And I get it. I mean, I get it. They're not using class weapons stuff. I get it. It's strong. So I don't know all the direct changes. All I know is those combos with going against 3 players, it shreds for sure, which it should, I guess, to a degree. But yeah, and SMGs, I don't know. Is there fall off? Says yes there, huh? There's some range stuff from SMGs where I'm getting like melted, and I'm just like, huh, that guy was quite far. At least it feels quite far. So just those are just gonna say that.
Okay. I'm gonna throw 2 polls out there, one for AR and then one for SMG, just to see how others are feeling as well.
Does the pistol have fall off damage? Is that new or no?
Is that right? I feel like it doesn't have fall off. That might just be wrong.
Yeah, I haven't ever actually noticed that it has fall off.
Or it
Yeah,
just
this
has
might
so
just
low
be wrong.
damage that the percentage fall off is very close to. I don't know. But I think it is no fall off.
Got it. Yeah, I think you're right on that, but I don't know for sure. I can't.
Vanski says
Yeah.
it has fall off.
Okay, cool. Adam, thanks for the sub. Crazy Cot, thanks for swinging by as well. And Gizmo, if I didn't say hi. And Vansky. Cool. All right. Yeah, I don't know if it has fall off or not. I can retest that after this. I'll just put 2 tests, because if that's wrong, I can get that updated.
Vansky does say it has fall off, so.
Okay, cool. Got it. Thanks for the follow. I haven't used Plasma Launcher at all yet. Have any of you tried Plasma Launcher with the new 600 damage change?
In the LTM, it was awesome. Yeah, it felt good. Didn't feel broken or anything. It felt it's always fun to use. But yeah, just playing around with it.
I have not picked it up myself.
Yeah, I tried it in the LTM as well. I mean, it's kind of hard to hit it, but once you hit it, it does very decent amount of damage for being a AoE and a neutral.
Oh man, I missed a lot. Poco, thank you for subbing as well. Seer, thank you for sending me bits. This is size sub, Thor sub, total subbed. Oh, those were gifted. Okay, bye. I don't know. I'm a noob. Sorry, I went from 2 subs ever to like 10 in one stream. Thanks, everybody.
Hey.
All
But no,
right.
just going back to the AR and SMG, the reason I brought it up is if they feel that good to console to not use class weapons, I don't know if that's a problem or if it's just, like I said, it wasn't the same squads. Like there was probably around 4 or 5 that I ran into. So that was just a concern. I think SMG feels good personally. Maybe there is a range issue, and AR feels better to shoot now as well. At least from like a PC perspective. As far as strength of it, I don't know.
Okay, I saw some in chat saying that SMG could use a little bit of a nerf from its range specifically as well. So I just noted down accuracy may be too strong at range.
Yeah, agreed 100% on that one.
And then for plasma launcher, this is an interesting suggestion from A11, which was increasing the projectile speed, making it a bit easier to hit or farther shots. How do you feel on that for plasma launcher?
Maybe when they re-add it back to the engineer or something, I don't know.
Yeah, that would be cool. What are we gonna
Bring
put
back
here?
engineer, and then we'll talk about it.
Exactly. Because if that's a class weapon for engineer, it might need a little love. Yeah.
Then it needs a love for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
But I mean, like, for now, like, if you play plasma versus SMG or pistol, like, what do you guys think win? I think still the pistol, or it depends if the plasma launcher is doing, like, right peaks or, but like in an open fields.
Alright, I pinged Thor to bring back engineer. That's how we're gonna balance plasma launcher. Easy.
Hell yeah.
I like it. I like it.
Alright. Just like Underpass for it's easy.
Yeah, Thor, the big purple button.
Exactly. Easy button.
Amazing. Okay. Alright, I'll go on to neutral abilities. So of course there's the brand new ability Lightfoot Potion. If we start there, how are you feeling about Lightfoot?
Personally, I have used it quite a bit, and I really like it. But I think one change we need to see to it, I actually saw this in your notes that you sent to me, is there needs to be more reason to upgrade it. So maybe increase the movement speed and jump height as you upgrade it from common to legendary.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah, it's a ton of fun. I love it. I do agree with that though. There's not really any incentive.
3 seconds difference in cooldown between gray and gold.
Yeah, not much difference. Not much difference at all.
And how do you feel about the different things that can be scaled? Movement, jump height, duration, and cooldown. I can say we tested a higher duration at one point in the past, and it ended up being really broken with dodge roll at durations higher than 3 seconds. So duration probably will be difficult to scale. But if we assume we can't scale duration, then between movement, jump height, and cooldown, how would you make that worth upgrading while having it feel good still?
Just take the white movement and jump height down a sec. Like I would say movement probably. What would it be? 15? If you would do 15 white, 20 rare, and then 25 epic, 30 legendary, I think
Yeah.
I would like that.
Then you definitely want to upgrade it. Right now you just like, oh, a gray one, sure. Green, ooh, nice. Purple, sure. But you never want to upgrade it, Like, you just find it.
Sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, those numbers sound good.
Okay. So
Small
scale
small
from
increments like that.
15. You're thinking 15 to 30 on the movement, and then would you want to scale the jump height, or would that feel weird having a shorter high jump?
It would be a little bit weird to scale the jump height. I'm not sure how I feel about the jump height. I wouldn't actually mind leaving that same,
Yeah,
but I
same.
kind of want to to scale as well. At the same time, it would give you even more reason
Yeah.
to upgrade it. You know.
Maybe it would have to be a smaller scale, but yeah, that would probably work.
Yeah, you could maybe take it in like 25% increments. You know, take it down to what 475
450 first? 450, 475,
or
500. No, wait. Oh, that would nerf it. Never mind. Yeah, no, 475.
475 to
Yeah.
would that be 575?
So I think it's a benchmark just for thought. You know those broken buildings in Crossing, that one right next to the forge with the open roof? So jumping from the ground onto that second story, you can only do that at about like 530-ish% jump height. So there's a lot of spots around the map that have that as kind of their benchmark for hitting that second story or that second area. So it could be nerfed below that, but then I'd just be aware any rarity with a jump height below that 530-ish mark won't be able to do the jumps in without doing like special height jumps and stuff into those second story areas.
That is a good point, I guess.
It could
Okay,
be
but if
buffed
you
above
would,
550, like maybe gold goes up to that 575 you mentioned or something to give wiggle room
Right.
for the other ones. Those are
so
all.
if you, I would say maybe like make the epic do 550, the legendary 575, and then rare 525 and 500.
Okay.
You
Or
know,
just leave everyone at 550 and then just the legendary version is 575.
you could do that too.
Because then by like the different rarities you have cooldown, right? So but if you want higher jump and cooldown, you go for the legendary one.
Now what if the lowering the movement from 25%, do you feel the movement is a critical thing that would make you want to upgrade it?
Yes, definitely more than the jump
Okay.
height, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, I mean depends what class you are, right? Yeah.
True.
As longbow hunter, 100%. As like everything else, it's more like, yay, I'm faster.
Okay. And would you feel bad at the white or greens if it was down at 15% or 20%? Would that make you feel bad having the white or green, or would it feel okay because it's a white and green?
I would be fine with that because I mean I don't fine with the gray blast doing like what no damage, 20 damage. No, I'm kidding, but still like there should be a difference.
Yeah, I mean the cooldown enough would be enough to upgrade it, but if you're adding in movement and yeah, I mean all that would definitely yeah, it's like it would be maybe even like a first upgrade after your weapon type of thing at that point.
Yeah, exactly. If that's your like main ability.
Absolutely, yeah.
Alright, got it. Fortification I'll somewhat skip over just because it's bugged and I think it needs more work. Like I think the feet need to be hidden and it needs a little bit of other stuff once that is fixed, that hitbox issue. How about healing station?
I mean, it got a buff from OB23. Well, I guess a buff and a nerf, right? But like white or common does more now, right? Like considerably more, I think.
Yeah, it's only 200 heal between every station now.
Yeah.
Yep, and there was a hidden nerf not mentioned here as well, which is the heal station itself is one-shottable by most things now. I forget what the exact health is, but it's something like 400, whereas on live you could actually body block sometimes multiple things.
Yeah, I noticed that as well.
Yeah, if you could make it immune to AoE, that's not a bad idea.
Make the healing station immune to AoE?
Yeah, Idiot Mouse just actually suggested that. Yep, that's true. Similar to like a procs mine and all that as well. Like, unless that's intended. But yeah, sometimes that feels bad. Yeah, Leap, Fire Staff, being able to destroy it.
Borti Rune, would you also want it immune to AoE if something like Leap or Fire Staff with a non-direct hit was
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that.
I wouldn't mind it.
Okay. I'll do.
You could almost just increase the health of the totem. You know, like make it more tanky.
Yeah,
Like,
maybe go back to two-shotting it type of thing.
I never mind the health. I just mind the crazy hitbox the legendary one had on OB23. That shit was. Whew. You know, you could literally be on the same level as another player. They put down the station and you headshot them, or you feel like you should have headshot them, and then you hit the station. You know, like
Right, yeah.
the
Can we-
hitbox on the. Oof.
It
Can
was
we
wouldn't
make sure?
mind.
Sorry. Can we make sure that AOE still destroys turrets though? Let's not get too crazy here.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay, so do increase the station HP, so it gets destroyed by 2 shots instead of 1. Alright, I'm catching on a couple things that people asked for to comment. Have to scroll up a bit, one moment. Lurkern had a comment on shotgun. Have they tried making shotgun 1.5 seconds per shot, reduce the damage, and give it 8 ammo? I think that would be a nerf, because I think it's just faster than 1.5 a second right now. I think it's a faster refire rate than that.
Is that a bug, by the way? If you have the station and you put it down and you can't drop it, is that a bug or is that intended?
I believe that was a bug. I think Thor even mentioned it.
Okay, then
I think
fix
that's
that
being
bug.
fixed in patch 2.
Yeah, definitely fix that bug. I hate that.
One more when station's down, you can't pick up anything else.
Yeah, you can't drop it, you can't, nothing.
Yeah, there he goes. He said not intended. Cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you. Alright, so it's
Put it
getting
up under
fixed.
bugs just to be sure.
But like in total, in my opinion, I wouldn't mind if station got a slight HP increase on itself, and then like a slight buff on the heal, like 100 maybe.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that because I remember at first, like on PTS, a lot of people were running it, but now in now that it's out, it's just I feel like you don't see it very often if it's not early game, and that would give people more incentive to actually maybe use it. Although maybe if we're increasing potions, we don't. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, that was also what I was. But that's like why healing station is gonna get a nerf once you have more potions, right? Even a less reason to get the station because you have more potions.
That's definitely
Right.
true.
And
We'll get an
what are you
indirect nerf.
picturing by the buff? You said 100. Right now it's 600, 800, 1000, 1200, all of them over 10 seconds. What are you picturing for the heal numbers?
Yeah, I'm like for the legendary one, like 100, maximum 200 more. And then for the, I mean, gray should be gray, so 600 is not the worst.
So scale it from
That's
600
1/3.
to 1300, you're thinking?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. First, just like nothing crazy, you know, like, but so slight that it heals a little bit more and then it tanks a little bit more. Not like it tanks 3 sniper shots or something, but like it tanks what, 1 slug shot, 1 gray slug shot right now, or?
Yeah. I think it's 400 or 450 HP, something like that.
Yeah.
Rune, XLIV, would you mind seeing healing station at 1300, or would you want a
Yeah,
different number?
I think that's fine. I think it would feel better. Yep,
Yeah, I'd definitely be okay with that.
it would feel better. Feel good.
Okay. All right. Added that in. Going back to the chat, other things that people have asked. Allow Lightfoot to affect mounts.
That'd be insane. You could, yeah.
I
Talk
mixed
about,
on that.
talk
You could
about
do some-
rotations.
Yeah.
I would love to see that.
That would be.
You'd have lightning mounts too.
There's a new LTM mode right there. Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, that'd be interesting. I'd be okay seeing it. I would want that PTS tested for sure.
Yeah.
Because I could see that becoming a must take for rotation capabilities, especially in trios. And we don't really want neutrals to be always must takes. Kind of like what we saw with Firebomb in the early PTS.
Right.
Given this is a little more fun than Firebomb is, but still.
But
I'll put it
movement
down.
is fun. Movement is fun, and you know, adding more movement would be more fun, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it could be. I'll add it there, but I'm putting that PTS note as well. Right. Jaguar Claws is annoying, says Vansky. You can't, because you can't jump out of the middle with gray/green. That's great. Is he talking about Lightfoot, I think? Maybe because with the Lightfoot you can't jump out of the center in the forge to the second level. Fancy, can you clarify if that's what you're meaning there? Adamaze wants faster ADS speed on the sniper. Right now it's set to 300 milliseconds, or 0.3 seconds for the ADS speed. Reflexes brought that up by 25%.
Personally, I feel like Assassin's already overpowered.
Yeah, I was gonna say assassins do not need a buff.
Yeah, Assassin needs maybe a nerf if anything.
I agree. It's I haven't. I feel like I didn't even notice a difference from OB23 with reflexes, but that could just be whatever because the game's smoother, maybe.
Okay. He also said he understands Assassin's pretty good. Maybe a slight nerf to other things to compensate for it. How do you three feel about aiming in air with scoped weapons, auto sniper and assassin sniper? Would that be healthy for the game or not, assuming other nerfs to account for it?
It would be very fun, but then assassin needs a nerf in general.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
it can't have conk and then you snipe someone with ADS and mid. Like as it is now, assassin is so strong. So it would need a nerf if that was gonna happen. But I would definitely like love to see it because it better that than no scopes that some people are managing to pull off. Like I don't know how, but they no scope super far.
Yeah, really consistent no scopes now for sure. And I agree completely. Like it'd be a lot of fun. I think it would be good, but in Assassin's current state, yeah, something would have to change a little. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna put this
Yeah,
down
definitely.
here.
Same here. I think it'd be just way too strong if you were able to do that. You would have to run Assassin in solos or you'd lose.
Alright. Add it in there, it'd be fun, but too strong. So we'd need other nerfs. Cool. Let's see what else is in chat here. Lightfoot visual effect shows on the mount hitbox, just doesn't give the effect. Okay, yep. Thor, imagine horses flying. I think it would actually be real cool. Skill saws, hello. Sorry I missed it, I'm catching up. And I think I'm all caught up now. So now I can move back to neutrals. We have 4 left. Barricade, turret, firebomb, grounding shock. I'm just going to do those as a bundle. Any of those you would want to see changes on?
Make legendary turret only one placeable.
But it's why? How much health do they have? Isn't it
400.
Oh,
Is it only
400 health.
400?
Yep.
It's
They got
okay.
nerfed from live.
yeah.
I think 2's okay. Maybe the like they're so common now, which
Yeah, that's true.
maybe that's more of I mean, they're just everywhere. You know what I mean?
Like you go into trios and you fight a squad and you'll just have like 5 turrets. It's really not that fun to play against, in my opinion.
Okay. Yeah.
It
so
is easier to
maybe-
kill and the whole thing now. Like I agree. It's just they're just very easy to maybe since it's a general ability, it's intended now. I don't know.
Okay. So turret itself, the balance feels okay. They're just everywhere.
Yeah,
That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah,
It sounds
yeah,
like.
pretty
I
much.
guess.
Just
I mean, it's
annoying.
not like game breaking or anything like that. It's just
No,
I
it's
think maybe
really
it's more of
not.
a nuisance. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much for me, that's what it is.
I don't see firebomb getting picked up as much now. like personally, if we want it in play, then I would like a small spread on it. Because right now the legendary spread, I don't know. Like we're talking legendary compared to the one before. Like it's so situational
Yeah.
now.
I think all of them were normalized to spread the same, or they should be spreading the same now in
Yeah, it's just
Reforged.
but it's a 15 damage per second tick. Okay, so it's the double damage though.
Yep.
There's the duration. Yeah, duration.
So right now it's 30, 35, 40, 45, 4, 4, 5, 6, and I think the reasoning behind these low numbers was to use it more as a zoning ability after what happened in the first PTSs, where
Yeah,
it was
yeah, yeah.
even though it was nerfed from 90 on OB23 to 70 here, because of all the changes to the healing meta and normalizing Axe and removing Inspire and all those other things, it ended up being meta even as a nerf Firebomb. So that's where it got kicked even more now. But
I don't
if you're
see
saying
anyone
it's
use it in Trio
overkicked,
Scrims.
okay.
That's like I don't see anyone use it now. Assassins use decoy or sensor and conk. Sometimes station someone. Hunter use flare, flask or blast or dodge roll. Warrior use shout, netshot or charge. Like I don't see firebomb in play ever now.
I actually always pick up Firebomb every game in customs.
But how many do you win? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah,
But,
I mean,
like
on
this.
PTS, everyone was using it all the time, right? So yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But what do you have the numbers from the last nerf that it got, like the big change? Did you say that and I just missed it?
I think it was 70 on gold, and it scaled down to I think 40. Here, I can go back and check. Just a moment.
Because yeah, I think endgame it's still obviously, like you said, for zoning it's still a good ability. But yeah, overall,
Here it is. So it was 40, 50, 60, 70, and the duration was 4, 4, 4, 5. Now it's 4, 4, 5, 6, but the damage is 30, 35, 40, 45.
Yeah, I'm fine with the damage and the duration and the cooldown and all that. It's just the spread I'm thinking about. Because if you use it especially in the open, it's just a little pool of fire, you know? It's just a little circle.
Yeah, it's very situational. You have to use it in a doorway or something like that to get value out of it.
Okay. Are you saying that it needs more
Fire
spread
too.
on it, Borti? Or are you
The
saying
legendary
less and
one.
more cooldown?
I'm just observing. I don't see anyone use firebomb that much often, like
Okay.
as in earlier. But earlier it was broken, right? So
So
Yeah,
do we
it's a tough
buff it
one.
again, or do we just leave it?
it depends. Like I don't know. It is a toxic ability, kind of.
Yeah,
So,
it kind of is. It feels bad to be chilling in a house and all of a sudden you just get burnt to death, you know?
What about
Yeah.
something small,
But
like keeping the damage and stuff the same and just touching the cooldown? Because the cooldown before used to start, if I go back to this PTS2 list, or actually
Yeah.
PTS1 is when it was the most toxic. It was 15, 14, 13, 12.
And then with Helm,
It started when you casted the ability.
yeah.
And then it had a 6-second duration, which meant that it was only down for like 2 or 3 seconds. So that's when it was used the most. Pets 2 or PTS 2, the cooldown got nerfed, and the other thing that got nerfed on it is the cooldown didn't start until the fire ended. So that is not just a 5-second nerf like it shows here, but it was 5 seconds plus the duration of the fire nerf. And then it was still taken as a meta ability even after that. So that's when the damage then got touched, and that's when people finally stopped using it. So
yeah. So maybe maybe a slight uptick in damage would help. That's scary. I don't know.
I hate buffing Firebomb. I personally don't like using it or playing against it, but
I mean, I would love to punish them campers, dude. You know, that's just me. Now that Skull is out of the picture, Firebomb
Yeah.
is the only way to punish.
And if it's not
campers.
down constantly like it was on PTS, you know what I mean? Like
Exactly.
you said, yeah, that might not be as bad.
All right. Well, maybe we just if it's contentious enough and hard, and it was really toxic when it was in the meta. Maybe it just
Oh, yeah.
see what plays out with the other changes and with other things changing. Maybe it comes back into meta.
But then it had the spread double, like half the cooldown and more damage. So it's a huge nerf on it in total.
Okay. So Mouse mentioned Barricade is bad for solos, okay in trios.
Isn't it the opposite? In
What
trios
did
it
I
did
say?
one shot.
It's bad in trios, too good in solos. So his recommendation was vault it for solos. I'm kind of in agreement that it's bad, like toxic in solos, but I think my personal preference, if we were to do that, were to just change it so they had different healths in solos versus trios. Right now it's 1600 health regardless. Maybe in solos it should only be 800 or 1000 or something instead of 1600. And maybe if it's bad in trios, then instead of 1600 it would need 1800 or something.
I wouldn't mind it, the health scaling from solos to trios.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it makes total sense.
So, alright, yeah, if I really like that, I hadn't thought about that at all. I'm gonna put that in here.
Yeah, Poco just commented another thing I've seen with the goblin health scaling maybe the same way, like from solos to trios.
Oh yeah.
Oh, once we're on that topic, dude, I've been waiting all night to bring it up, but hey, now we're talking about Loot Goblin. So we've been talking about like Realm has like this kind of MMO feeling, right? And then I was like, what could make it even more MMO feel and more noob friendly or newbie? I mean like new beginner, whatever player. If you add like a health bar to the goblin, you know?
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Because then like new players are knowing how much damage they're doing. Because now, like at least on OB23, I knew like if I do 12 access on a goblin, I will kill it. You know, like on OB23, and yeah, I always have a feel of when I'm gonna kill that goblin. But new players, they don't know how. Like they're like, this thing is never dying. You know,
It's a raid boss, yeah.
running. Yeah, but
Yeah, exactly.
But it gives it a little MMO feeling if you know the health bar, and
I think it's great.
I think it would help.
Plus they're so fast and so tanky now, you're right, it definitely feels like that.
Yeah, it feels like that. It's like this thing is never dying, dude.
Yeah, for sure. Grounding shock, it got a big nerf from OB23. Now the knockup scales and the damage is lower, cooldown's higher. Do you feel it's in a good place, or does it need changes?
If we buff grounding shock, I would say we need to buff blaster as well, because it's like, like as a hunter you would run either one that feels better.
Yeah.
Because right now they do like the same damage, no?
Blast Arrow goes up to
same.
550, this one goes to 375, so Blast Arrow is quite a bit more.
75 tick, no?
No,
Yeah,
75
375.
is how much it is per tick. So it ticks over I forget what it is, like a second and a quarter. So the total damage across those ticks is 375. I think it's 375 over 1 second, and it ticks 5 times or 6 times.
Then I could say like increase the damage a little bit, like not like crazy, but I'm not seeing it being played as much. I mean, I use it. I use it until I get a blast arrow. Like if I green blast arrow, I pick up grounding shock purple, gold, and then I forge and get my purple or gold blast arrow.
Okay. So you would argue grounding shock is over nerfed right now?
A little bit, yeah. It is better
RuneFlame,
than
do
the
you
first
agree?
BTS.
Or live?
Yeah, it's not like I never pick up a grounding shock anymore. It's one of those abilities that just isn't good enough to take. Like I find legendary grounding shocks all the time, and I take like, you know, a green firebomb instead.
I agree with RuneFlame. I used to run it on Hunter. Like that's all I would run. And now if I see a legendary one, I'm just like, yeah, whatever.
Okay. Would you nerf the damage, or the cooldown, or the knock? Or sorry, would you buff the damage, the cooldown, or the knockup, or combination?
I think
16
what was
seconds.
the cooldown for a legendary on
16.
Oh.
On live?
on OB23?
think
So
it
I
was
keep
like
wanting to say live too. I know.
4 or 5 seconds.
Yeah, it was so fast. I mean, it doesn't need to be that fast, but I mean that was a
Uh,
big reason to use it. So maybe what is it, 16 now? With Helm,
With
that would
Helm, I
lower it
think it's
down.
But it was
around 11
busted.
and a half.
Yeah. So
Just
I mean
drop it down a
that's not terrible.
second
Yeah,
or
maybe another second or two. Yeah, and you'd be in a better spot. 10 seconds maybe.
Okay. There's also the thing to be aware of, at least, that you can now run double offense. So you couldn't run conk grounding, blasting grounding, procs grounding those before. So if grounding becomes too strong, any
That's a good
class
point.
with a CC ability now gains a second, potentially fast CC ability. I don't know if that changes any of your thoughts on recommendation, but something to consider.
That is a good point.
I was actually rocking Hunter with blast and grounding shock, so I would basically get people up in the air with a grounding shock, and then I would get a shot off and a blast arrow, and that's a lot of DPS. So, but then I sacrifice doing DPS for movement, for example. Like I usually run dodge roll or flask, right? So it's like a DPS build versus versatile build.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I ran Prox Trap and Blast Arrow for a while, and you definitely can do a lot of damage like that, but then you don't have the movement.
Yeah, that's my favorite way to play right now. But yeah, I feel you have to sacrifice it. But going back to grounding shock, if I think it's one or the other, right? Like you either slightly increase the damage on it, or you slightly reduce the cooldown and leave the damage the same. Like you can't do both. Absolutely can't do both, right?
Oh, that's
Yeah.
interesting. So I just opened up a poll if anyone else wants to look at it as well. But so far we have 6 people saying grounding shock needs a buff and none saying no.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah.
would be down to like 2-3 seconds cooldown buff. Like, I don't know. Like, it was very good for getting people off their camp angles, right?
Yeah.
And before that, like, we had so high cooldowns, like that was really broken, right? But now you have more lower cooldowns, you can play around it, so like it shouldn't affect too much gameplay, you know? Like, because you after you get grounding shocked, you have to, or conked for that matter, you have to use a movement unless you want to get shot for free, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So for now I'll put maybe cooldown by about 2 seconds. So that seem reasonable, going from 16 down to 14 for the legendary. Would that be enough for you to take it?
It might be, yeah, with Helm and everything, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or does the
I would
damage
agree as
need to
well.
go up from 375 as well?
If you were going to do cooldown and damage, it would have to be just slight damage increase, because then you might be talking too much, like especially if you're running double offensive type of thing.
I wouldn't hate like a 1 second cooldown decrease, and then like a maybe 25 damage buff up to 400 for legendary.
Okay. So
That'd be fair, yeah.
okay. Alright, so I'll do cooldown reduced by 1 second, damage increased by 25. I think that's a good balance. Alright, we have 1 hour left. hopefully we can get through. I don't know if we're gonna get through all classes, but we'll do our best. These get a little bit quicker, I think. So there's only 2 weapons to talk about now: Fire Staff and Ice Staff. I have one call out already from Arrow Cloud from earlier that he thinks the 20% slow is too much on the Ice Staff. What do you think about that?
I think that the ice staff is a lot weaker than the fire staff right now, so nerfing the ice staff would be kind of tragic for it. I feel like it would just not be as good anymore as fire staff. But if the fire staff gets nerfed, which I think it should, then the 20% slow on the ice staff could maybe drop back down to 15.
Okay. So you were thinking it's okay at 15, but only if it gets buffed elsewhere then?
Well, I was thinking more like if the fire staff gets nerfed, then the ice staff could maybe use a slight nerf as well, or it could use a nerf on the slow and a buff on the damage. Either way, I wouldn't mind it.
Okay. Okay.
Is it a 30%? Or I thought it got buffed to 40, or did it get brought back down to 30% on the headshot?
The headshot on Ice Staff is 30%. The headshot on Auto Sniper is 40%. That might
Was
be
it-
the one in your mind.
Was it buffed to 40% at one point on PTS, or am I just...
I don't think so. It was at 15% slow on PTS. It got
Yeah, I
buffed-
remember
it
that,
got
yeah.
buffed to 20% slow because people weren't using it enough and weren't feeling the 15% too much. Now at 20%, I'm hearing a number of people saying that it's too much slow.
Yeah, I felt like at the 15 you didn't notice it as much, and the 20%, like that 5% difference was just, yeah, felt quite a bit more than that, but yeah. But yeah, I think, yeah, either the headshot thing is scary because then we go back into fire staff territory maybe. But yeah, maybe a slight damage buff would make it feel better.
Okay.
Or Idiot Mouse had mentioned earlier that it needs an extra bullet.
Oh, that's interesting.
Then
So
you
maybe
gotta-
if slow got reduced to 15, adding that extra bullet allows for that miss that you might get from the not slowing it as
Mhm.
much.
I
Once
actually
you
really
need
like
to,
that.
once you need to slightly nerf the damage, then a whole new bullet is a lot in the entire.
Yeah, this is 280 per round, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Or I'm
it's
sorry,
so-
yeah,
280 per pellet, and it shoots
per pellet.
3. Yeah.
Shoots
Yeah.
3. Yeah, so yeah, it would need a slight reduction then, I think, because that's
So it's
strong.
840 right now, and then am I doing that right? That math times 1.33, so it should be 1092 if you hit all 3 as headshots. Which means
And then
it
if
takes
there's
4 bullets to kill somebody, or 4 full headshot bursts to kill somebody, or 5 bodies, I believe.
I feel
Yeah.
like that's not broken. I mean, I think the ice staff is just weaker than most of the other class weapons still.
Yep. Okay. Okay. So I guess if the slow feels oppressive and we're nerfing the slow, then it sounds like in some way either the fire staff would have to be brought in line with it, since the fire staff would outshine it too much, or the ice staff would need to be brought up to the fire staff's level.
Definitely. I feel like maybe a little bit of both, actually, like a little nerf on the fire staff and a little buff on the ice staff.
I mean, the problem with fire stuff is almost the same as shotgun. It's just so inconsistent. I many times think I'm gonna get a full hit and I hit 100. You know, like that's the only thing that feels bad with it. If you hit your max damage every time, then I definitely agree. Fire stuff needs a nerf, but like it's so inconsistent.
Right.
That's the problem.
That's just the thing. Like sometimes a mage jumps on me with a fire staff and he hits every bullet and I just die instantly. You know, like
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
nothing I can do. Then other times he jumps on me and he just hits the ground and
100
hits
damage,
like a 100 or
damage.
200 damage and I just win because he's just not getting his full damage off.
Mm.
would it be bad to increase the projectile speed on the fire staff and then lower down the AoE to basically like almost nothing? I don't know. Is that a bad idea or is that a good idea?
I I personally think the AoE is too big on the fire staff. I think it's too easy to hit multiple people with it right now, and maybe that contributes to the inconsistency is how big it is. Since if you're not in that center point of origin, which I think is only 3 meters, the explosion goes out to 8. So you're feeling like you hit, you're not dealing the damage you're expecting.
Yeah, no, but reducing AoE and faster projectile doesn't sound too bad to me, to be honest.
All right, yeah, but so the projectile speed right now is 500.
With the crossbow is 3 times faster.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna throw a poll out there for Idiot Mouse's idea on how many shots the ice staff should have. Feel free to vote
No,
in, you three as well.
Wait, huh? How many
For
shots?
reference, how
Yeah,
many?
6 or
Wait,
7.
wait.
The ammo is 6 or 6. Yeah, 6 right now on the ice staff.
Yeah.
So
I should say 6 or 7 shots. Yes, right now it's 6. Well, that's interesting. It's pretty evenly split.
But isn't it better to add one, like, you know, it does 3 pellets, right? Isn't it better to have 4? And then 4 times 6?
That would
I-
be stronger. Yeah. If it shot 3 pellets per burst instead of 4, that would be another way.
Wait, what?
That's what
Reverse
you were
that,
saying,
yeah.
right? You want it to shoot 4 pellets instead of 3 per.
Yeah,
Exactly. No, what I was thinking is, okay, so it does 280 right now. So make it do 250 or 240, 230 on legendary one. You have 4 pellets per round, and then like a 5% slow decrease. So it back to 15, or maybe even 10 because you have 4 pellets. Is just what I was thinking very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, if you increase it either way, as long as that headshot stays at like the 30%, I don't know if you break it, and it definitely will feel better. Yeah, feel better to use. You'll actually see it more often.
Okay. Alright, I'll put out there. So the big thing is we want to buff Ice Staff slightly to bring it up to the Fire Staff's level, but only after we nerf the Fire Staff slightly. And specifically, the AoE was one of the things. Were there any other things I should note in here?
yeah, the AoE, and I feel like it could use a slight projectile speed buff.
Increase, yeah. That should help with inconsistency, no?
I think so.
I think so too. Yeah.
Okay, so AoE decrease, projectile speed increase. I know it got a nerf from 820 to 800 damage when it went from, or sorry, 840 down to 820 after the burn damage from PTS to launch.
Yeah.
I think that made it so it's one more shot unless you have Fireball. Does the damage itself when you're hitting shots feel okay now?
It feels like a lot, definitely. If you get hit by 800 damage from a fire staff, you definitely sweating a little bit.
Okay.
I wouldn't mind it dropping down another 20 or so, but I don't know if it's necessary if the AoE is decreased.
Alright. What do you guys think about fall off damage on the Fire Staff? Right now it has no fall off damage, so even though it's kind of a short range weapon, you can use it in long range pokes, especially on corners. Should you be able to do that?
I think it doesn't really need fall off because right now it's hard to use long range with the current projectile speed. Like it's
but
not.
What if
And
we
when the
increase the
AoE
projectile speed?
Yeah, but like, and if you decrease, because okay, so at least how you would use fire staff long range is you hit the corners where people are close to. You will not hit on them because that's literally almost impossible unless you just pre-shoot right and hope they hit. But the best, most consistent way to hit people was to hit their area, like where people are close to, even if it's a window, if it's like a roof, if it like. No matter where it is, like you will hit the place next to it. The same was with the ice staff on OB23. You weren't aiming at the people, you were aiming at where how the AoE would splash to hit them.
I think most people said
'Cause
no on fall off. I'm just throwing a poll out there for Daddy Thor.
no, so already nerfing the AoE already kind of ruins that kind of gameplay, and then it's already hard to hit people long range with fire staff.
Okay.
I-
It's partially
the
hard to
way-
hit because of that projectile speed, though. If that's
Speed,
increasing,
exactly.
then that's
Yeah,
a
but
buff
like
to
how
long
much
range
would
play.
you? How much
I
would
would
you?
say no more than 200 increase on the projectile
Yeah,
speed.
exactly. That's what I thought, and then it's not really that crazy. I mean, the
Right.
crossbar is 1500, so
Slug
You
is
definitely have
slug
to
is
PTS it, yeah.
1200 also, just as reference. Axe, you know the axe on OB23? I think that was
Mhm.
615. So this
615.
is yes. So if
Dude,
it was
that's
increased by
faster.
200, this would be faster than the axe on OB23. Projectile speeds are a bit weird with how they feel versus look, but yeah, if it was 700, that would be noticeably faster than the axe on OB23.
What if the AoE damage is like nerfed? Like the I forgot what game it is, but like it basically the main target you hit will take the full damage, but like the AoE people will take less damage.
Ah, okay.
Wait, can you
Is
say
that
that one more
like
time?
if
I
you
think
hit
I
the
know what you're
target,
saying.
if you hit the target right, they will take the full damage, but the AoE splash will do reduced damage.
Oh,
But
okay, and
I
if you
don't know
hit
how.
next to them, then it's just regular. So specifically, add some logic for if it's a direct hit, it reduces the AOE damage.
But like I don't know how good that would be when AoE is getting nerfed. I don't know. But it definitely would. I don't know. That would definitely nerf fire staff quite a bit.
I think the biggest problem with Fire Staff right now is just it does a lot of damage, and you can do that damage without actually hitting someone.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah, how healthy is the AoE anyway? Like for the game, is that like is that something that people really enjoy, or is we're going into firebomb territory there, right?
It seems a little toxic. I was hiding in a room one time with my two teammates, and Borti killed all three of us with a Fire
Hiding,
Staff.
hiding.
It
What?
was endgame.
Hiding, hiding. Wait, what?
I was holding in a room one time.
Oh, okay.
All right. I'll leave it at that so we can get through some more stuff. Talking about the kit for the mage themselves. So we have Ice Block, Flask of Healing, Fireball, Soar. They are one ability less than all the other classes. So who knows what's going to happen there, but definitely feels like the kit's smaller.
Yeah,
I'd like to see another ability myself.
100%.
Movement.
Yeah, wink, wink.
Ghost Walk.
Movement would be great. I heard
Feel the
some
pain.
people throwing
Huh?
out the idea of like a wraith portal. I forget whose stream I heard that in. It was just yesterday. But they threw out the idea of a wraith portal,
Oh.
where your team can follow you to height, like lumber. You cast your portal, you soar to height, and then your
then
whole
you
team follows.
score. Hey yo, hey yo.
That'd be something.
Interesting.
I thought that'd be pretty cool, but
It would be.
True.
but yeah, I agree. There's something there. So other than a new ability, how do you feel about the balance of the existing ones?
I had an idea for Ice Block. I would like Ice Block to be reloadable while in Ice Block, but take out the healing entirely. So 0 healing on Ice Block. But you can
Which
reload.
healing is it now? It's what's his mage?
The reason I say that is because I feel like people are using Ice Block a lot for pushing,
Reloading.
like pushing a forge or something. They run in, they Ice Block. Everyone looks at the mage to focus him, and then the other people go shoot them while the team is looking at the mage and Ice Block. So if it's an aggressive ability, right, you want to be able to use it in an aggressive manner not trying to heal with it. You're just trying to distract, and you might want to reload your weapon after shooting a shot.
Okay. So remove healing. I also saw Vansky mentioned in chat that he's been dying from accidentally pressing reload. I've had that a
Oh
bunch
yeah,
too.
so
'cause
many.
Mhm.
Oh yes.
I'm very
Habit,
used to
right?
it.
Yeah.
Which is one of the reasons why I want to allow reload.
Yep. Yep. That makes sense. How do you feel on the duration? It got nerfed to 5 seconds versus on PTS it was 6.
8? Oh, 6? Really? Legendary?
Yeah, so that
It felt
1
like an
second
hour.
makes a big difference.
Bruh, like
Yeah,
it felt like an hour. But you couldn't cancel that one, so I guess.
Yeah, I don't
that's
think
fine.
it needs to be any longer. I think it's in a good
Yeah,
spot.
it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it doesn't need to be longer for sure. It usually doesn't get used for its full duration anyway.
Sure. How about the flask of healing?
Well, it might get a slight nerf indirectly if we increase the potion count.
Potions. Yeah.
So it could use a slight buff, maybe, if anything.
Yeah.
Bigger
Less
splash
people are gonna
radius
use
maybe
green.
as well.
I like that idea.
Yeah. Bigger
But,
splash
like, what I
radius
was
would
saying,
make
like-
it easier to self-cast too. Because the double tap it doesn't feel super consistent. It's hard to pull off.
Nobody does that.
Yes, nobody does that.
Yeah.
No.
It's super
you
hard
hit
to
the
pull
floor.
off.
But that's what I was thinking.
Oh,
Imagine if you
big
just.
news! Splash radius getting buffed.
Hey, yo.
Yo.
Oh, nice. Awesome.
Leaks.
Patch 2 confirmed.
We got some juicy leaks here, boys.
Thanks for the raid, Tap. Appreciate it.
Small raid.
Small raid. Sheesh. Alright, so Flask of Healing. I'm just gonna put on here. Buff radius. Heard it here first.
We'll see if it happens.
I also feel like
The
when
cooldown's
you
fine.
release it to when you can tap again, there's like a weird delay. You have to time it. You can't tap it right away. I'd like to be able to tap it right away to explode it sooner. Days, you can go host. We're working on a better patch too. Yeah, but I think if that self-cast ability was made easier, I would probably start double tapping it more, and maybe not hit those ground issues. Nice, Mouse likes to Poco. Thanks for the sub. Tap. Cool, Mouse likes the double tap. Vansky likes it. All right, looks like double tap make that easier is going on the list.
Double tap meta incoming.
Selfish mages, dude.
I'm just gonna copy paste this up to Lightfoot Potion unless somebody disagrees.
No, I definitely agree with that for Lightfoot
Yeah.
Potion as well.
Nice. I saw a bunch of people in chat saying Fireball feels underwhelming. Have you felt similar?
I would like some sort of CC to it, in my opinion. Like the screen is kind of like fiery, or like just a little shake, or like right now it just is like, oh, it did damage.
Okay.
Woo.
Maybe, what if it had a if you hit somebody with it, you did more damage on them, or your team did more damage on them, like a damage amp effect?
That would be really strong. Don't you think? I mean,
It definitely
it already
might be.
does. It already does 600 damage at legendary. If you do 600 damage plus, maybe a 10% damage amp for 2 seconds or something, I think that would be huge. If you hit 2 more slug shots.
Yeah, even following it up with a fire staff shot or something. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or interesting idea on that, what if the damage got lowered from 600 down to something like 500 or 400 on Legendary, but then it gave 10% amp?
That would
So you'd
definitely
open it with
separate it. Yeah, that would definitely separate that ability from something like Blast Arrow and Conk, or. which already it's not like a blaster or a con because it doesn't do CC.
Arrows had longer dots, so more fire damage, maybe going from 20 over 1 second, something, I don't know, 100 over 2 seconds.
That could be pretty good as well.
Another person mentioned piercing. That was earlier, but they said if Fireball could pierce enemies, it would help it.
That's so situational, though.
Gentle just mentioned it as well. It is situational, definitely. I'm gonna throw a couple options for burn out here. So assuming the damage stays at 600. Let's see.
Yeah, exactly like Mouse is saying, and like
Yeah, right now it doesn't feel worth taking over those abilities. That makes sense, Mouse.
I agree with that as well.
Okay.
that's why I said like a slight CC, because then at least you have a little reason other than just pure damage, which is a hit or miss because you might miss it.
Okay. I'll do
Charge your
burn
fireball.
damage first.
Ayo.
So I'm gonna do
I'll-
the same and an increase. Do you all think it needs a damage increase though if it doesn't have a CC?
Yeah, I think
Yes.
maybe a damage over time. Yeah.
Okay, alright, so I'm gonna put 100 out there and I'm gonna put over 1 second, 1.5, and 2 seconds. Note that the damage over time, it causes that tick on the enemy screen. So some people have been complaining that fire feels oppressive. So just, I'd say keep that in mind when you vote on the duration.
So I actually had the same thought that Thor just said, charge it fireball by holding it, because I was like, so fireball sounds like really cool, and but then when you actually use fireball, the animation for it looks like just kind of lame. You know, you just kind of like throw it out there and it hits them.
But if
What if you would like charge it up and then throw it, and like it creates a big like fireball, and yeah, it'd
Just-
be really cool.
Yeah, it's a Hadouken at that point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But if you had a Hadouken, how much damage would it go up to? I'm just thinking you use the fireball, fire staff to peak shot, because you can cast them almost simultaneously.
If it's a Hadouken, it's got a
2,000
one-shot him,
damage
you know?
burst.
More like 1,000, maybe a little over 1,000, like 1,200.
same damage but just bigger, or you know, like
You don't have
it's
to directly hit him.
like bigger, yeah. So it's like it's the same damage, but it's like the projectile is bigger itself. So you could potentially hit 2 people. So instead of piercing, if they're standing next to each other, you could hit both.
Ah, yeah. That could be really cool.
Take the AoE off the fire staff and put it on the fireball.
I'm just gonna throw all these out here for Mr. Thor to look at. So we have Pierce, charge and deal higher damage, buff the burn, and then you had changing the AoE of it as well. Did I hear that? Or am I just
Yeah,
imagining that?
you did hear that.
Okay. Arrow looks like he really wants it buffed. I'll pull that one just to make sure that it has better representation. Alright, Fireball. Should the AoE change? Alright, moving on. Well, that's voted on. We have Soar. How do you feel about Soar?
I think it's too slow. I think it should be maybe a common could start with 44 feet a second, and you could tick it up like by 2 for every rarity. I don't know if that would make it too strong, but people are sniping mages mid-soar all the time, and that
Yeah.
feels bad for one movement ability.
Was the speed already buffed off of OB23? Is it already faster? I'm not.
No, OB23 was 44.
It was the same. Yeah, then I agree, 100%.
I would say buff the speed of it and buff the cooldown a little bit. As you said, it's only one movement. Like you have charge, leap warriors. Like, oh, I leap, and then I charge. Oh, my leap is back up. Woo! Or the conk and decoy and blink.
So I'd really caution the cooldown.
Yeah, I don't
When
know
we were
about the cooldown part.
testing, a very toxic build was Soar, Ice Block, and then any other ability to help survive. Barricade, Flask of Healing, Fortification, whatever, because you just soar with your gold helmet. I start healing, Ice Block as soon as they're in range, and by the time your Ice Block is done, you'd either have your other defense ability, or you'd be able to soar and wiggle soar away again, and just bait whole teams for a long time.
Yeah, I
So-
agree. No cooldown. I don't think cooldown should.
Yeah, it already feels like it's up all the time, honestly, with like Gold Helm.
True.
So maybe, yeah, a slight speed increase. Idiot Mouse said something maybe like doing like a small shield when you use it.
Oh,
Okay.
yikes.
Maybe from, yeah, I don't know. Like a small, he said like 300 damage or something.
300 is not a lot though.
What
Yeah.
if when you soared, you became like a stone mage or an ice mage and had damage reduction? Something like that.
That could be kind of cool. Just like you can still get hit, but it won't do as much damage. So like a 15% damage reduction while soaring.
Oh, something. Oh, Gentle gave me the thumbs down. Arrow with the huh.
Baron says soar faster, lower duration. I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, that might be some. Yeah, that might work.
Yep. There was
Yeah,
also the difficulty for controller players when soar speed got too fast. It was much more difficult to control those quick movements compared to some other classes because you can wiggle and shift and rotate so quickly.
Yeah.
So that's just something to be careful on if soar speed gets too high.
Yeah, but that's why I was thinking you can't nerf the duration, but you can like, because like then before they do a 180 or 360, it's gonna be over, you know. But I would like to see a speed increase, but I don't know about the duration being touched personally. But I don't play enough Mage to.
Okay. I hear this a lot, so I'm going to just add this one in here. I think we talked about it at the beginning, but just to write it down. Same thing Mouse just mentioned with only having one movement. Everyone else has two. Having that option for a mobile mage with a second movement ability. And I threw an idea out there, but there's been a ton of them around the community for ways to do that.
Or maybe Mage needs a team rotation ability.
That's a good point that Arrow just said. If like, I mean, Soar's good, right? Like, and if she gets a second ability, then is Soar too good? You know, like if
Yeah,
she,
but
yeah,
for now. But
for now, yeah.
But until she gets that, whatever it is, we can't really, you know, like we can only change what is now, not what may be possibly happening in the future. No.
Yep.
No, that's 100% true. 100% true. Yeah, I think a slight speed increase is maybe
Best way to
all
go.
it needs. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Alright, I'll leave it at that for Mage. So we can move on to Warrior is next. Starting with weapons. We've got Axe and Longsword, and an unknown longer range weapon that we will get soon per Thor. Trademark. So, given that,
Wait, what?
in Discord, he's been talking about a new weapon is coming for Warrior that will have a longer range on it. He said both mid-range and long range, so it could be anywhere, either of those or anywhere in between. So, confirmed third weapon for Warrior, sounds like.
Will the longsword be vaulted, or will it? still stay?
It's a good question.
I think he said longsword would be vaulted, but I don't know. I don't want to put words in his mouth.
Okay. A11 said it will replace the longsword. I think Thor is lurking and he may have gone into hiding so he doesn't get too harassed now. But Thor, feel free to speak up and confirm that.
I still see a lot of longsword with double movement and enrage
yeah.
now. So I mean, I know a lot of people are enjoying that, but that's just I don't use it personally.
I've heard some people say green axe is too weak. I personally haven't had an issue with it. How are you three feeling?
But it's to what?
I don't use the green axe, so I have, and I just use a rev, a slug, anything else. Usually, I generally don't use it. So it does feel, as green class weapons go, it feels like it's probably the weakest to me.
I mean, personally, as a hunter main, by the way, I don't think it's too weak compared to
I
like
don't think so
okay,
either.
a green crossbow is most definitely weaker. Like,
Yeah,
Well, that's true.
100%.
That's true.
100%.
Okay, got it. So I will
I
leave
think
that
it's
alone
fine.
if it's too contentious. Alright, so
Let's just nerf warrior to the ground. I want to see all the warrior mains cry.
I think
Looking
I
at
think
Gentle and Gideon. Wink.
I think green axe should only do 300 damage per hit.
the Realm CEO KDN has been complaining about Green Axe a lot, so I'm going to throw a poll out there just for him so we can see if he's in the minority.
Vote nerf, vote nerf.
Leave it as it is, I would say.
Yeah, same here actually.
Yeah, that's true. We are all hunter mains in here.
I mean, I am a variety player though, or I've
Right.
been, but
Alright, well I see how this is going. Somebody's going to have to screenshot this and DM it to KDN.
Oh no, dude.
That one buff, it's Gentle, dude.
Oh, there's one nerf. There's one nerf.
That is one buff and that's Gentle, 100%.
There's two buffs.
Oh?
Someone's in Discord with gentle.
Love it. That's amazing. Alright. And sword is a meme, but it has enrage and stuff, so we'll get another weapon and see how that changes things. Go on to abilities because we're running out of time. I'm going to do these as a whole. Any changes that you want to see on the warrior kit between enrage, healing shout, and net shot to start, and I'll move on to charge and leap last because I know those are more contentious.
Is the lifesteal a little bit too much? 30% all over, no matter rarity?
That's the only thing I could potentially think of, but I don't think you could do like a, 15, 20, 25, 30 thing either. So I don't know what you do there.
I feel like I feel like it should be scalable though. Like it should be 15, 20, 25, 30.
Mm-hmm. The hard
I don't
thing
like
with the
30 on legendary.
scaling of lifesteal is it kind of scales with your weapon rarity already. So it would essentially be getting a double nerf because, example is gold slug versus white slug. You're going to steal more late game once you get that gold slug. On drop, it may not matter, or it will matter on drop. We are getting gold weapons so early right now that maybe it isn't a huge difference, but it is a definite, essentially double nerf if you nerf the low rarity lifesteals.
Yeah, then maybe. I mean, personally, I don't fear. I mean, I fear enrage, but like I don't fear warriors in general, like you do on OB23. So maybe it's in a pretty good spot then.
It's interesting though, nobody is voting 30%, which is what it currently is, so everyone is feeling life still needs a nerf. It ended up pretty split between 20 and 25%. So I'm just gonna add over here. I definitely agree with what Gentle's saying. Shrink the axe. I think the axe hitbox is too big.
Yep, that would fix.
I would agree with that.
That would fix everything.
Definitely.
What about like after you throw like freaking 8-10 axes, you have a little like, you know, cooldown time. Like even if it's just 1 second where you just can't throw axe. You can see it builds up, you know, and when you're at the red point or like whatever.
Okay.
What like exhaustion kind of.
Yeah, I see what
So
you're
like you
saying.
can't throw 20 axes and not like everyone else needs to take a break by reloading or whatnot.
I don't want it myself, but I'm happy to pull it and see what other people think.
Not but like after multiple axes, you know, like so you can't just no brain just hold down left click, you know?
Yep. I'm a no-brainer on it, so I'm gonna pull it though, see what people think.
You know, because some warriors they just leap after you and then they're missing everything, and then you're just there like, bruh. And then they finally, after 20 axes, they hit you.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Well, you're ahead on the poll. We're at 9 yeses and 6 nos, so as of right now, I'll keep in here stamina.
It doesn't need to be after like 4 axes or 5 or 8. It can be like after 10, 15 or at 12. I don't know, like somewhere like.
Huh. It is pretty contentious though. We're
Yeah, I
at
don't-
16, 13. I don't know if it's enough
I don't
to
know.
make the community mad by making a change that's that contentious.
I enjoy playing
like-
war. I think I don't know if that'll feel great. Honestly, I understand where you're coming from though, because of the spam nature of it. But
Yeah, but like I'm talking like if you take a 1 second break between axe number 4 and 5, then it kind of like goes down, you know? Like it resets or goes down, but you can't just hold down left click and just spam axes.
New poll. Who wants to spend valuable programming time on a stamina system that has never been tested or worked on in Rome versus working on new classes?
Okay.
New classes or stamina? New poll.
I'll take new classes for sure.
I mean, Apex do have that on their weapon, no? Is that the energy
yeah,
weapon?
they do. Which
Yeah.
which weapon is it?
The L-Star.
Yes, the L-Star. Instead of reloading it, Scott. Which pretty much all of the weapons in Apex are reloadable though, so.
I think just starting with a smaller hitbox it would be a good place and see how it feels from that point.
True enough, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like with that change, Borti, you're squarely outnumbered now, except for yourself that voted for yourself.
Wait, what new classes? What do you mean? Or stamina? Bruh. Okay, dude. How about fix every single bug in this game and balance it completely, or stamina? Bruh. Okay, dude.
Easy. Alright. Okay, so we have Enrage. Shielding Shout. I've been seeing some use in trios, limited use in solos. Do you think Shielding Shout's in a good place or needs more to it?
Yeah, I think it's very strong, and not too strong. It's just
Yeah.
kind of a nice spot.
Yeah. I would
Yeah,
say
that-
so.
I think that and net shot are pretty solid.
Okay. Yeah, and a big change is not listed on here. So the duration is extended from launch, but also the distance. It was 12 meters on OB23. It's up to I think 17 meters. So you might notice you can cast it over 50% further away from your allies now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a lot of
I
that
noticed.
feeling of the buff.
Yeah, I definitely noticed that. I like that. I like that change.
Cool. All right, net shot. So, any changes on that one? Gravity. I think Gentle wants gravity lowered. I heard that before, I believe.
Like how much? Like just a slight gravity or like half of it? Or like I would say like 1.2, if anything.
Arrow says it's fine. Gentle, what was your thought? I thought I heard you mention gravity on net shot. What were you thinking there? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if
But
he
no,
doesn't respond, or when he does, we can come back to it. But oh, he said, I just think people are forced into a heroic landing feels bad. Okay, I think that's what feels so good about net shot. But... All right. Well, it sounds like there's not a lot of calls for net shot changes. So charge and leap. There's some fun clips out there of Tepper killing Days. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but after those clips, I've heard some calls for nerfing or removing damage, or for changing charge damage from a damage into a damage reduction instead, keeping the knockback. Like maybe you charge as the Stone Warrior or something. What do you think?
My idea for that would be to leave charge alone and just take the damage off of leap entirely. Leap is already a good movement ability the way it is. Does it really need to do damage as well, or should it just be removed and used as a movement ability to move?
Okay. Any other changes you would see on it other than removing the damage from leap? So then keep charge the same, remove damage from leap. I think that does remove the combo that happened today, is because it's if you do the full combo minus one of those two damages at gold, you do 3,290 damage. So he would have been 10 damage short of the kill against full armor. So it would require a fourth axe. The
Yeah, I think I'm
downside
okay with
then
that.
is I think Enrage will be more meta, because Enrage right now brings the number of axes it takes down to from 5 to 4. The combo that Tep did brings it from 4 to 3. If you remove the damage, then it brings it back to 4. So even if you pull off the full damage, running net shot, charge, and leap, you're going to have the same damage as just using Enrage. And with 25% attack speed, it would actually be the same time to kill with Enrage. That's my only concern with gutting the damage off of Leap, is you're essentially making it so that hitting all of that stuff doesn't give you any benefit beyond moving the enemy player as just running Enrage charge.
What's the radius on the damage for leap? Is that a known
I
easily?
don't know. That's a good question. That's a good thought. Could it be like you have to actually land on them, not next to them?
Yeah, that's a good thought. I could see that as a viable way of fixing leap damage.
Peace
Yeah.
Fansky.
Takes more skill, more accuracy.
Yeah, I don't know how many times I've been landed on, like, seems like a little too far away to take full damage from it, but yeah, yeah, just a thought. Because just like class, fantasy lore wise, whatever, like, yeah, if a warrior does land on you, it seems like there should be damage there, right?
Yeah. Days, I saw you were still in chat. What do you think of lowering the range of the leap damage? I am worried if you nerf that whole kit, if he lands every ability, it's saving one axe over just running Enrage. And Enrage has 25% attack speed, so technically it's the same kill speed. He just moves you more because of net shot. So at least it's harder to do that. I'll wait for, or I'll check if he responds later. I'll put in the potential though of removing the damage as well. But I'm gonna pull that because it's a pretty big change to warrior.
Yeah, it is a big change. Hey yo, oh,
Yo.
All right, here we go.
What?
Whoa, dude.
Vansky! Now in my first stream, I've gone from 2 subs to like 60? No way.
64, no?
64?
63, 64. You were in 13, didn't you
Holy
say?
shit, yeah. That's absolutely insane. Vansky, thank you so much. Wait, hold on. Oh my god, I broke my Discord. I clicked the wrong things. Oh my god. One sec. Alright, it's back. I had to quick mod Vansky because I'm a sellout. Anyone else who wants mod, gift a quick 50 subs, no problem.
Anyone else wants mod? Come on, come on.
Wody, thank you so much.
I might buy 10, wink.
5 more? Jesus Christ. You know what it is? It's this sick face cam. People just love the trash can, I guess.
Yep.
Alright. Oh, I missed the poll results. Did anyone see what happened on that poll?
Wait, if you... I have no idea.
Dang it. Alright, if nobody saw what that poll is, I'm gonna have to do it. It was keep same and lower AoE. Thanks, Boko. Yep.
Yeah,
Alright.
I agree with Jeff. That was a problem Hi-Rez did before. Like, every little small detail will affect another class in some sort of way.
Oh yeah. I think the
Indirect
nice thing
nerfs and
is
buffs.
for warriors so far, the only changes we have are they're very small, minor tweaks. So it's throwing axe nerfing the hitbox, no damage change, and rage lowering lifesteal by 5%, maybe 10%, and then leap.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, but making it a little bit harder to hit. So I think we're doing good right now, at least,
think
at
that's
doing
good
inches,
thing.
not miles.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what you need to do. Because I remember before, at least, on the patches, like, they went miles, like, hyper buffed one weapon and super nerfed another one, which just made, you know, like, that was a problem before on many patch updates.
I definitely agree with that. I don't want to see too many big changes coming out because honestly, I am having a ton of fun playing the game exactly how it is right now. So
Yeah,
why
it feels
change
great.
it too much?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think we've been doing a pretty good job of being aware of that so far, just with keeping it as it'll feel the same. We're just increasing the difficulty essentially a little bit. I'm gonna move on then to Assassin, which might be the hardest of them. I've heard a lot of calls that Assassin's too strong.
Can we
It's
just buff
definitely
Legendary Sniper?
Okay.
1800.
A11, I
Yeah.
saw your message. I don't know why Streamlabs removed that. But he said, what is the idea of the dev team trying to work on the hitboxes slightly? Even though I personally know UE3, oh, hitboxes suck ass, that's why. Is that something they have resources for? So, there is something tough with changing the hitboxes. It can affect collision, A11, which can affect the terrain to be even more difficult than it is now. So, it would be difficult, though possible.
One thing I heard, I never play solo, so I can't really vouch for it for myself, but I've heard that decoy and smokescreen together is really obnoxious.
the double invis.
Yeah.
Mhm.
With the combined heirloom to like top it off. And like you run heirloom mainly, smokescreen and decoy, and then you just have but I can't like say too much about it. I've just heard by others.
I mean,
Any
I think
about
the way to
chickens?
I think the way to fix that problem is just to decrease the invis time on decoy by a little bit. I know it's already low, but it could, like, even at legendary,
How
like it
long is it?
does.
Is
I
is
think
it
it's
2 seconds?
2 seconds at legendary, I believe.
The decoy?
Yeah.
The invis.
Oh yeah, the invis and the move speed is 2 seconds, so it gives 30% move speed and invis for 2 seconds.
I wouldn't mind it giving a little bit more move speed and then less invisibility.
Yeah, 2 seconds is a lot to like, I don't know, get around. Either
Mhm.
that or like 1 second extra on the conch, because
Yeah,
everything
conch.
legendary and gold helmet with right now you can do. It's crazy.
I think
Yeah.
conch and then legendary sniper damage. Those are the two things. Like increased cooldown on conch and some a little less damage with gold sniper. And yeah, it is so fun to play, but it is probably the strongest class. So it's like
Mhm.
want to keep that feel good playability factor with them, but not feel so bad to go against it. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, definitely exactly what Arrow said. Fully agree with that.
Well, what
Alright.
did he say?
He has decreased
Uh,
damage from 1300 to 1200, increased the cooldown of concussion bomb, and
Oh
chicken
yeah, what
HP
Eris
should
had
then
is
be lowered to
smart.
1200 as well to allow it to be one shot.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I'm fine with
Yeah,
that.
that sounds right along what I'm thinking too. Cool.
Alright, yeah, I'd be fine with that. I just pulled chicken HP. Looks like people are mixed between 1200 and 1300 right now, but that does tie closely into the assassin as a whole, because that'd be a nerf on that. So I'll put a question mark on this.
Once assassin more balance, you can get those midair snipes, which is what a lot of people want, right?
mhm. That way you don't get knocked out of scope from any little terrain um, change or maybe like AoE weapons and stuff like that.
Okay. Alright, so I have add scope in air. Now if scope is in air, that's gonna have a whole series of nerfs probably to do to make that balance,
Increased
right?
damage is nerf, right? If you want to
Yeah,
have it
that's
correctly.
yep, that is a 100 nerf. I could see that happening regardless. I have heard assassin right now is probably the strongest, especially in solos.
It's strong everywhere.
Yeah, it is. It's strong. It's really strong in solos, and it's
I
even
was just
stronger.
thinking,
Or it's yeah, also strong in trios. Definitely stronger in solos too.
Yeah,
my
having a
O-
class that can one shot a chicken is going to be yeah, exactly.
oh,
But
yeah,
I see plenty of people saying that scoping midair would be OP, and I agree with it. I mean, I
Yep.
think it's just so strong.
It would be, yeah.
People always complain about the longbow being able to hit
or
in midair. Imagine a sniper; it's like 300 damage more, you know. So
Yeah. Okay. For now, I'm just gonna put would need many kit nerfs because I feel like we could talk on that one for a while then, and then could kill the overall feeling of the assassin if it requires too many nerfs. So it needs a PTS for sure.
it's not as strong where it needs hard nerfs or anything. It's just the slight, small, teeny weeny tweaks, you know. And especially now that warrior is getting like, if it gets less axe projectile, like assassin is going to be #1.
Okay. Yep. Concussion bomb. So pretend the scope and air doesn't happen because that has its own changes. Concussion bomb, you'd still want to increase the cooldown on it.
What is it on legendary again? Can you pull that back up?
9 seconds right now. Now that's with
That's not
no
including
helmet, so
helm.
with the helmet
Yeah.
it's about 6 seconds.
Yeah, I think even still, it needs to be more.
Okay. How does the
Not like
purple concussion grenade feel with gold helmet? Because that one's at 11 right now, which comes out to be like 7.5 to 8-ish with gold helmet.
I wouldn't mind just a 1 second increase.
1 second, yeah.
yeah, I think that
So bring it from 9 to 10.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. The other rarities feel okay though?
I was thinking you would balance it accordingly, like
Yeah, across
every
the
single one
range.
of them would get 1 second.
Oh, 1
nerf.
second for all of them. Okay. Okay, got it.
What if 2 for the legendary and 1 for every other rarity?
Got it. So instead of being 10, 12, 13, 14, it would be 11, 12, 13, 14.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that as well.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay, so that ends up being about a 2 second nerf. With the helmet ends up being about like, whatever is this 1.4 or something like that second nerf on Legit.
Mhm.
Okay. And then
Sounds
decoy
good
you
to me.
also said needs a nerf where you want more move speed but for shorter duration.
Yeah, I would.
We could do a poll of that, but like either like 1 less second of invis, or like I don't know. Like I think 2 seconds is a little strong because you have a lot of time to line up a shot, right?
Exactly.
I saw Jeff. Oh, he used it so perfect. He conked himself in, decoyed, and then he um got behind a full team. Like that was amazingly played, but then he got 2 full seconds to like line up a shot, did a massive headshot, and just absolutely destroyed a team like that. I don't mind it, but like especially if you run smokescreen decoy, that gets nerfed at least. But I don't know. Like once Conk has a nerf as well, I don't know how much decoy should be touched.
Okay. So
Yeah,
if,
that's
so
what
if
I'm
we
thinking
assume
too.
it's going to be a very, if any change that we make to it is incremental, and we try and target the double invis build specifically, because you mentioned that feels toxic, right?
Is what I've
Mhm.
heard, yeah. But I
Yeah.
don't play solos too. I only play trios, so I wouldn't really know.
Okay, alright, I threw a poll up there for decoy balancing. So far, it looks like people are saying keep the same. So maybe if decoy is kept the same, then the question for balancing the invis meta is to target smokescreen instead of decoy.
But isn't smokescreen already a worse ability than decoy?
I believe it is. So it'd be primarily just for people running decoy plus invis for the toxic nature of it. My opinion would be that smokescreen needs a rework. I've never really liked smokescreen.
I think that having double invis on one class just feels kind of bad.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay. Yeah. Alright, so decoy poll that keep the same, so I'm gonna just note that. Okay. Alright. Mouse said smokescreen's really good in solos, it just needs to evolve into the meta, so it doesn't necessarily.
Yeah, I agree. Like decoy is just easier to use, right? It's just easier, especially versus new players. But like, people don't understand how like this smokescreen fully works. Like you can go invisible multiple times, depending on what angle you are, what the angle the enemy is. You know, like I don't know. Like people just need to understand how it works, and then I think more people would use it.
Alright, so I'm just going to note to keep that one the same, and then I think the last thing, or last two we have is Sensor Drone and Blink. Sensor Drone got the big change of it's now team-wide. Personally, I don't think there's any reason to upgrade it, so I'd like to see something like the radius scale at a minimum, and maybe the cooldown scale more than it does.
I wouldn't mind that either. I think the radius for sure should scale.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you can shoot it through a wall, right? A thin wall, you can shoot it through the wall, so it's not really the best. So a little buff to it wouldn't hurt anything. Then you can play more builds than just decoy conk. And if sensor is viable, you can counter those running double invis.
Makes sense. And the last one I have here is Blink. So it does the jump from epic to legendary like the others, and it's currently the lowest cooldown movement. However, I've also heard from people that it's also the weakest of the movements. So, what are your thoughts? Does it need a change?
Not sure. Not sure it needs a change, honestly. If concussion's getting
How many?
like a cooldown.
Not cooldown.
No, I'm saying if concussion's getting the cooldown increase,
yeah.
I'm not sure if Blink needs a change or anything like that. Because
I
I
was
think it's situational if it's good or bad, right?
Sure, but like how far does the blink go compared to like a leap?
Blink
how many-
goes approximately, I think it's 15 meters. Leap goes 15 meters vertically and 40 or 45 horizontally.
Yeah, I think like me personally, maybe a slight like, so they could go the same where where leap and soar and grapple and all these.
Total said 17 is the blink distance. So I think it must be 15 for leap height, so it's slightly more than the current leap is, but not distance.
Yeah, I don't think it needs a buff. I think it's really good where it is right now.
I tend to agree with that. It feels good where it's at.
Alright, and it's not too strong, it doesn't need a nerf.
I don't know. I like if I was going to say anything, maybe a slightly longer cooldown. But again, since we're potentially adding a longer cooldown on conk, I don't think so. I think it's in a. I think we leave it at this point. At least personally, I feel like take the inches on the conk for now and see what happens.
Alright, I'm gonna move on to Hunter because we're already over. I can stay for another half hour, so if you guys are good to go for another bit.
Let's do it.
Alright, we'll get through the Hunter then. I'll do all 5 codes for the giveaway, by the way, at the end of the stream for people who want it. If you do exclamation point giveaway, you'll see what codes I'm giving out. Feel free to hang around. Alright, Hunter. So starting with classes. Class weapons, we have longbow and crossbow. Thoughts on it? I have heard many times just an opening thought. I think it might have been Arrow who said this, but it was longbow going to an exponential curve instead of a linear curve to kind of simulate the recurve feel, and to give more of a reason to switch to crossbow when you're in close range.
I definitely agree with that, and I'd like to see that as well.
Yeah, I do. I mean, again, we have 300 mains here, so I agree with that. It is too easy to spam like short draws or whatever.
Yeah, definitely agree on that.
And be rewarded for it, I guess, is the way to say it. Yeah.
Yeah, you can do like a 30% draw and do a headshot and it does 1,000 damage. So it's like, it's. But that's why like recurve was good, right? The talent.
Exactly.
All right. Green longbow at 600. How do you feel on that?
perfect.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
fine.
It feels good though.
No,
Yeah, it feels fine. I think.
Honestly, double the damage on all of them.
On all the green?
Not biased.
Make
Yeah,
them stronger than the gold?
all the longbows. All the longbows to double them. I'm not
Yeah.
biased, trust me.
Same here, but I totally agree.
Okay. How would you
But,
compare
honestly,
green
though-
longbow to green crossbow, green throwing axe, green heirloom,
Um,
green sniper?
I
Green
think
axe versus green bow is fine. Green crossbow is doo-doo.
trash, very trash.
Yeah.
I feel like purple crossbow and legendary crossbow are kind of bad as well, but that's just me. I guess I don't often have a legendary crossbow because I just don't prioritize it.
Yeah.
Okay, so so more than an issue with so if green longbow feels good, then maybe the issue is with the green crossbow needing
Yeah.
an increase. How about epic crossbow then?
I take revolver over crossbow, but like if that is because the crossbow is bad or I'm bad with the crossbow, it's like, it's I take green rev over it if it's because like like if I'm bad or if it's because of habits or if it's I don't know.
I actually am taking revolver over crossbow a lot as well. If I have a green revolver and I find a purple crossbow, I'll take the crossbow, but I almost feel like I still can do more damage with a revolver just because it's hit scan. It's so much easier to hit, and it does a lot more damage in one shot.
Yeah, same exact thing for me. I mean, every so often, in a pub game or whatever, I'm like, yeah, I'll pick up a legendary crossbow or something and play around with it. But like if I'm playing serious, then yeah, I'm 100% picking up the revolver.
Honestly, for me, I would like to see a complete rework of the crossbow. I don't know, this might not go down well, but I want to see the crossbow come back more like it was. What was it, like 2019? I forget which patch it was, but it did about 500 damage and it shot like more like an heirloom, maybe a little slower than an heirloom. I like how that crossbow feels way more than how the really rapid firing crossbow feels. Not Arbalest. I don't want you guys to think I'm talking about Arbalest. It's completely different. Arbalest was completely broken. This actually felt good compared to an Arbalest.
It sounds a bit like a slug.
It's a little bit more like a slug, yeah, but maybe like add damage fall off and stuff like that, so you can only use it close range.
Got it. So like a little bit harder hitting slug with a little bit slower shot than a slug, but with damage fall off.
But I think it would still. I'd want it less damage per shot and faster shooting than a slug still.
Yeah. You need a close range like for hunter. So like it shoots faster than a slug, but it does less damage.
Would that
So,
be
like,
like the heirloom though? Because the heirloom's
Thr-
doing 400 versus the slug at 485. So
Like
what's the difference between heirloom and that then?
if the crossbow did like legendary does 400, right?
Yeah.
So if the crossbow does like 350, 360, but then shot a little slower.
Got it. Okay, so you're thinking keep the current crossbow like projectile speed and everything, increase the damage up to mid 300s, and then lower the fire rate to make up for that.
Yeah.
I don't really know what is the best touch.
Really hard. Yeah, I'd want to like actually crunch some real numbers on it and stuff. I'd want the refire rate to go back to exactly what that crossbow meta patch was, but the damage was actually like 550 in that meta or something like that. It was pretty ridiculously high. Just bring that damage down a bit because that crossbow felt really good to use. It felt like it was really fun to use. That's the only crossbow that I've ever used in an actual close range fights. Ever since that, I took revolvers.
All right, I'll throw something out there because that is a big change. So for people who've been listening, would you want to try out a crossbow like that over the current crossbow? Something where it would be mid 300s on damage, closer to that like 350 to 360 legendary range, and then it'd lower the attack rate of the crossbow so it's the same DPS as it is now.
What is the shots per second? Do we know?
Right now, it does 0.3 refire rate, so that would be 3.3 repeating shots per second.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a little too fast.
Yeah, it's a lot of shots per second.
Yeah. Like lower the time between shots and higher the DPS. Doesn't need to be a lot, but
Wow, that's actually seems like most of chat wants that. That's 14 yeses and only 1 no.
For me personally, I just don't really like the way the crossbow feels right now.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't feel like decoy's fun to use. Like that doesn't feel as fun to use. Longbow's fun to use. Yeah.
Right. Exactly what Arrow said.
Yeah. It is actually kind of funny what Idiot Mouse said with the bolt staff thing. So the projectile rate, speed, the attack rate or refire rate, all of that is copied from the bolt staff. It's identical stats as OB23 bolt staff.
No
For
way.
real?
Yeah, yep, with 10 less damage because people were complaining it was too strong, even though it was identical damage as bolt staff, a little bit lower than Thunderstruck before. But at 15 ammo, people were complaining. Even at 12
Wow.
ammo, they were complaining.
That's crazy, actually.
Yep. So that's good to know. So I'm gonna put that in here for buffed crossbow, but I'm gonna note it's a rework, not just a buff. Okay. Alright, so I will keep that in there. Higher damage, slower attack speed, crossbow rework, and that's our idea for crossbow. Otherwise, yeah, so I'll keep that out there. I'll put green felt good, green longbow. Alright, moving on to abilities. Flare. So notice the big difference here is the scaling radius. On OB23, the radius did not scale for flare. It was a fixed distance, or fixed radius, and the thing that changed was the in-air persist was 7 seconds in OB23, and the reveal effect on gold was 7 seconds on legendary versus only 1 second on the other rarities. What that means is if you were in range of it for 7 seconds and the flare was gone, you'd be revealed for 7 seconds after that. That's why it felt like flare revealed for so long before. Same thing, if you went out of a house for 1 second, you'd stay revealed throughout that whole house. Now you disappear after 1 second. So that's the changes to flare, and it scales radius, and now those persistent and reveal effects have been leveled out. Do you feel that it is balanced now, or it needs something else?
I think we keep it as is. It actually like scales with the rarities, unlike sensor, and it doesn't feel broken. And it doesn't feel like broken in an overpowered sense. No, I think it's in a good spot.
Okay. Yep, I'm seeing every person in chat saying the same thing. Looks good.
It's good for me. I like it the way it is.
Great.
Like, I mean, I wouldn't mind, but that's because but this is a very, very, very popular opinion, but I wouldn't mind to see 1 second reduced on every rarity, but
Cooldown?
I don't
Yeah.
know.
I mean, I don't think it would be that big of a difference, and I think it would be fine. But a lot of people
But
don't like mixing,
just so
apparently.
you can actually run it, because right now I don't really. Because in solos is absolutely a no-go. You do
Yeah.
not pick flare. You
Right.
only sometimes pick a flare in trios if it's a little chaotic or you want to communicate with team.
Is that I mean, is that a bad thing though? Like, is it okay that there's abilities that are better for trios and abilities that are better for solos, or that just aren't good for solos and are good? Especially
No,
it's
but
because
like
like,
1 second would not get it back in solos. 100%. It would never. Players never gonna go back into solos.
okay,
Yeah, I agree. I think it's fine. I think it's fine the way it is. If anything, maybe lower the cooldown, but I don't think it's necessary.
It's
Same.
just
Yeah.
not gonna be a solo. Like it's just a quality of life thing. Like it's not gonna be a solo ability anyway. But I wouldn't mind 1 second. It's not gonna make it overpowered. It's not gonna make it, like.
just for you, Borti, I'll
But
throw it out there so we can see what others say. Oh, surprisingly, more people are saying lower cooldown by 1 second. I did not expect that.
also
I
remove
did not.
warrior
I'm not sure it
or
really
nerf to
changes
the
it
ground.
either way, to be fair. Yeah, I mean,
Did you say remove warrior?
Yeah, remove warrior or nerf it to the ground. Yeah,
Replace warrior
thumbs
with NG?
thumbs down for warrior, dude.
Okay, keep it in there for Mr. Thor to read.
That should say 1 second buff, not 1 second nerf.
Yeah, please no.
Thank you. Imagine it got opposite of what you wanted. Oof. All
I
right.
think you did the same on assassin. I think you did the same
Did
on
I?
assassin.
Oh, it must be getting too late for. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. Just to make it clearer, I'll use the actual words. All right. Going on blast arrows. So I've noticed watching when I watch the customs, I see a lot of blast arrow usage. I see almost no prox trap usage. Uh, why is that?
you guys are gonna have to speak to that one. I love running both in like pub games. They're a ton of fun to combo and use together and all that kind of stuff. But as far as the customs go, I can't really speak to it.
Like Blaster, for example, I only use it because it just feels natural. I've been playing with it for 3 years. I don't know. I like it just feels natural to yeet out that arrow. Well, for multiple reasons. One, to keep your momentum on certain objects. Two, for putting people out in the open from their hiding spot, which is sometimes difficult to do. Three, to depending on your rarity of bow, you can finish a chicken if you get a clean hit. Or just simply follow-up damage. Like overall, I think triple movement is better in most situations. Of like, if you play 100 games, triple movement is better situational. But I don't know. In my brain, I just love having that blast arrow.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, plus to knock a warrior off you, whatever. You know what I mean?
Exactly,
There's so
that's
many
easy.
uses for it.
Yeah.
I think prox trap should do maybe 50 more damage at legendary, 400. Bring it up a little bit closer to the blast arrow because the damage is a little bit weak. Like 350
Yeah.
damage, like I mean,
350
I've seen better.
legendary.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've
And
seen better.
what's the deploy time like before it explodes? Is it 2 seconds or 1.5? Or because
Um,
I feel like I was running it today
think
and
it's
it
a
just got
one and a
shot every
half.
time.
Yeah, it's not
Thor,
terribly
can you
long.
confirm?
Nah, but I like every time I was using it today, it got shot every single time.
Yeah, that feels bad when you throw your like 10-second cooldown ability or whatever, and it gets shot and it does literally nothing. So that's
Yeah.
definitely one reason why blast arrow is taken over prox trap a lot.
Mm.
So you're thinking increase damage by 50, shorten the arm time?
that would
Yeah.
definitely help.
Yeah,
Trap,
definitely. If you shorten the arm time, that would help a lot. Another thing is you could increase the blast radius a little bit, so it's more viable in trios, so you can hit 3 people easier. Just a thought.
Okay. I'll put other options because I feel like it might need to be one or the other, or I'm a little nervous if we do all three, if it will become too strong. I think
Yeah,
the
it's a fair
damage
point.
is an easy one because it is very low. It's less than even grounding shock at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I am worried about damage, arming time, and blast radius, and I suppose cooldown's another option. Oh, thanks for the raid, Shadow. Appreciate that.
What Air is saying is he wants it to do something like the Solgus did on OB23.
If you hit a warrior with the prox trap in the air, it doesn't move them, Arrow? I haven't tried that. Is that what you're saying? Like blast arrow, you can hit somebody midair and it moves them. So I don't know if it hits a leaping warrior. That might override it. Got it. So you're saying forced movement or CC abilities should affect warrior while they're mid leap. What do you guys think about that? Because right now, leap, if you're hit by CC, you're not affected by it, with the exception of net shot.
Yeah, I feel like that should knock them back out of their leap. You should be
Yeah.
able to counter that for sure.
Not a super common thing that, well, maybe blast arrow, but procs would be a lot more difficult to hit. But yeah, you should be rewarded for it, I think, to knock them back.
Okay. Does it move? I'm thinking, so it wouldn't move Hunter probably either on grapple. That is a buff to all abilities with CC, because you can now knock people out of the air with them. Right now, only Netshot can do that. So it's kind of an inherent buff to all CC abilities except Netshot.
And yeah, that's an indirect nerf to Netshot. But I mean, that's like, you get the slam on the Netshot and the slow, so I mean, like, I don't know, getting slowed by a legendary Netshot feels awful, especially when they're throwing axes at you. It just,
Yeah. It's like basically a free axe if you get hit by a
Yeah.
net shot.
unless you have, oh no, Hunter dodge roll.
Okay. I'll put that under other questions to discuss more later. That sounds like a bigger topic because it seems like it would affect other things than leap then. Like, should it affect somebody charging? Should it affect whatever else? Any movement?
I mean, charge is a charge, so I don't know, but
Yep. Or grapple. Should it affect grapple?
I mean, if someone is able to hit a freaking proximity trap on me, meanwhile I'm grappling,
Yeah, it should in that regard. Yeah.
it's almost impossible to hit. So I wouldn't mind it, I guess. Like, I would be like mind blown that they did it.
How about Thor?
Damn, hitting a procs on a sword. Yeah, that.
I feel like
I
there's
don't
a
know,
lot of
maybe-
questions.
Yeah.
I mean, it probably should, but yeah, unless you're flying in a straight line, which nobody really does anymore. And even then, yeah, who knows?
All right, yeah, I'm just gonna leave this at the bottom at should CC abilities move players, and leave this as a bigger discussion when we have more time. And then so proc trap buff, blast arrow. Generally, it seems like people are taking it, so I don't think it needs a buff. Just given that people are running it. I don't think it's overtuned. Do you guys think it's too strong or in a good spot?
No, definitely not. It's still weaker than Conk.
Yep. Or
So what
do you
is-
think it does need a buff then?
Not really. If Conk gets a nerf, then definitely not.
Yeah, no, I think it's in a very good place.
Okay, so we'll bring Conk closer to Blast Arrow, not Blast Arrow closer to Conk.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Dodge roll?
Just give me the movement speed buff like I had back in like 2019, you know?
You want to go as fast as a horse?
Yeah, dude.
All right, man. That 1.5 second dodge roll. Oh, all right. What is A11? He said, make getting chicken have a 1 second immunity frame so you can't get bursted. That would help being chicken not feel like a death trap, so you have a chance to react. I don't like that myself. Do any of you like that?
Let me
I
read
mean,
it.
they kind of have it. Like, you know when your teammate hits a player and chickens them, and you hit them at the kind of the same time. Your damage doesn't count. So they kind of have it already. But
Yeah, but I mean, if you get chickened and then insta-gib, like that's part of the game. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you're a chicken, you've already died kind of once, you know. So
Yeah,
I don't know if they need like a free pass for a second or two.
No, anything to avoid a chicken buff would be great.
Okay.
yeah,
I
I
would
mean,
rather
if
nerf chickens than buff them, actually.
Alright, sorry
Yeah.
A11, we're keeping our nerf chickens from 1300 to 1200 and not adding immunity
Yeah.
to it. Alright, last one then, if dodge roll feels good, is grapple hook.
Grapple hook feels really good. Needs a little bit of a sound cue to I'm
Quality of
thinking a
life.
zipline sound. Yeah, quality
Yeah.
of life
Needs an indicator
definitely
and sound.
needs an indicator. That was a big thing that I wanted to mention.
Indicator
I'm
of
gonna
when
be
you
able,
can cast it?
yeah,
Or
when
like
you
when it
can
would
cat
connect.
when a
Yep.
wall is close enough, or whatever you're gonna grapple onto. Definitely.
Oh, you already have the sound thing there. Cool.
Yep. Aerocloud earlier mentioned that the grapple speed was too high, like the speed that you go up the rope. Do you guys agree with that?
No,
I don't think it
definitely
goes too
not.
fast. No.
I think it goes too slow.
Alright,
I
I'm
don't
gonna
think it
remove
goes too
that.
fast.
Yeah, I think the speed is great.
Yep, Bond.
Too
I think we
slow and
have
it's not good. Too fast and it's way too good.
It's too slow. Like literally everyone will hit you mid, and then
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
like when
Yeah,
you use
exactly.
grapple.
You can't. It's supposed to be an ability where you use it so that people can't hit you, right?
Okay. Yep. Blady said make the grapple so that you can see if the hook.
We have
So you
already
can
said
hook
that.
like Pathfinder.
We have
That's
already
it.
said
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, so
Yeah, the
that's what the
indicator.
indicator is.
That's
Yeah,
the
the
indicator.
So indicator would be like changing from one color to another or something like that.
Mm-hmm. People want Pathfinder grapple. Give us Pathfinder grapple.
What do you
yeah.
guys think about being able to grapple through windows? So say you put your rope inside a window, should it pull you through?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
That'd be awesome.
that'd be sick. Yeah.
I agree with Tepper. We should shift more to the Widow grapple. The Widow Maker grapple from Overwatch.
I'm not
Yeah.
as familiar with Overwatch. Can you describe it?
It's like it has tons of momentum, so you can actually grapple the floor just like right in front of you and jump, and you can actually like send yourself flying across the ground for a decent distance. It would help a lot with when you're like in the desert or something, and there's literally nothing to grapple onto. You can just grapple the floor and actually still get like a momentum to make yourself move forward, or like when you grapple an edge, you can grapple up really high above it and get
The
a shot
only
before you come down.
problem, sorry, but the only problem with that is that it requires so much, like good coding. Like
Mhm.
Thor already said it. Like they struggle for a lot of times just to have the grapple work as it does now. I remember watching a video about like how like the Pathfinder grapple thing was such a difficult thing, and they have like a large team, right? So I would love to see a Pathfinder grapple in Realm because the momentum, the freedom, everything. But I don't know if it's possible. That's the only thing.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's definitely a little difficult to code.
Unless they'd be like, respawn, what's up, dude? How do you guys do this? Wink, you know?
So interesting, the grapple through the window actually came out. We're at 7-7 right now for it should pull or shouldn't pull. I feel like on contentious changes like that, it's better to err on the side of don't change.
Boom.
Yeah.
Hunter Mains
Let me
Unite.
help that real quick.
Yeah, me Runen,
Alright.
me Runen.
There we go.
And
Yes.
we yeah. I was gonna say us three we just whoop in there to the
It
pole.
wasn't me. I had already.
Oh, then me and Liv.
Yeah, I
Thank
didn't
you,
see it.
Gentle, for asking more people to pull. That helped. Alright. That's all the stuff I had. I think we can skip armor for now. Just out of time. I mean, I guess if there's any big callouts you want changed here.
Not for me. I love armor the way it is. I think it's really balanced.
Okay.
Yep, I 100% agree. After the PTS changes and stuff, it feels like it's in a
The
very
gray
balanced
armor
place.
thing, no? Like personally, I don't think I would want gray armor.
Oh yeah, same here. I
Yeah,
think
Yes.
we're
It would just make more RNG into the game.
right.
So
And
the reason for gray armor, or I should say, if I have gray armor, the question down here is, gray armor would never drop out of chests, but should you spawn in with white armor, which would allow you to put the things that feel good, like the base 10% movement, maybe a little bit of reload speed, whatever you feels good, is you spawn in with that. And what that does is let you remove a drop out of chests so that you don't get so many drops coming out of every chest. Because you don't need so much an armor coming out of so many chests anymore. The reason it's coming out of so many chests right now is because is to help you get all 4 armor pieces in those first 2 minutes of looting. So this would let you lower the armor drop rate out of chests to be in line with other uncommons.
So is this in an attempt to like just reduce clutter?
Yes. So this would be in an attempt to reduce clutter. Yes.
I guess that's tough. I don't know. We'd have to see like the base stats what the base stats would be on. You know, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that one.
Okay. And
I do agree with reducing clutter or having more spread on items that come out of chest or whatever. Like I think that's obviously a direction it needs to go in. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about like white or gray armor or whatever.
Okay. Yeah, it would be primarily just for reducing clutter. So it'd be so that you spawn in with something, whatever the baseline feels good. Green you could then find, and it would be like an interim step between green and purple, but you'd still scale up to the same legendary at the top. So that might mean maybe it's a 5% move speed on gray, 10% green, 15, 20. It would be scaled out so that you get a little bit of those stats at the start, so that you can reduce the need to find that green earlier.
By the way, one thing. Am I the only one who thinks golden boots mount speed is busted? I rather want it to be 20% instead of 25.
I don't think it's too strong. I don't know. They nerfed it one time. I feel like I like it the way it is, but
Because the boots give 10% movement speed and 10% mount speed on green, but then on legendary it gives 20% movement speed but 25% mount speed. So if you're a team that didn't get to loot so much and you're kind of under geared, and you have full green boots and you're getting chased by a team with full legendary boots, there's no way.
yeah, there's definitely no way. It wouldn't be terrible to change the boots to 15/15 on Epic and 20/20 on Legendary, I guess.
Because the only thing, like, before, if you wanted that, like, much mount speed, you would sacrifice either leg day or reflexes or anything to get the mount speed talent, right? Now you don't sacrifice anything, you just get it.
People vote. I threw it out there. How is boot movement? We have both are good.
Not boot, but mount.
I have both are good. I mean, that's sorry, greaves, like greave movement.
I see.
Yeah. So you can vote if move is too fast, mount is too fast, both are too fast, or both are good.
I could go either way on it. I mean, I get where Borti's coming from 100%. But yeah, it does feel
Alright,
good to zoom.
How about ladies team is not allowed to have anything more than green boots? That's my input.
I like that. I like that idea.
Like they're physically not able to pick up purple or gold.
Mm-hmm.
And there is like the regen on the chest that will pause, right? Is that being changed? Like in
Yes,
combat?
I think Thor.
We covered.
I think Thor said that was gonna change. I don't
Okay.
recall for certain though.
I felt like I saw that somewhere too. I just didn't know if it was like official or feedback or something.
Yeah. For chickens, I saw Arrow also said he wants the armor piece regen to not affect you when you're chickened. So if you're chickened, you don't regen that health from the armor piece.
Oh, yeah, that
We need to keep in mind that now we already reduced the damage by 100. The health by 100, so it's already getting a nerf. So I don't know. 10 health per second on a chicken. That only is like, let's say, 15 seconds after you get hit.
Only 150 health. I mean, it's not that big of a deal.
It's not that big of a deal, I would say. If it's getting 1200.
He's saying it's because of the threshold. So like, let's say you have, especially if there's 1200 damage chickens, you have 1200 damage chickens, you have an heirloom rifle, it does 400 damage a shot. The difference between having an armor piece or not is 3 heirloom shots versus 4. I think that's what he's referring to by having it make a big difference. You have to balance around that for chickens.
Yeah, but even on 1200?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like when it's 1200, just as an example, with armor, that makes it a 4-shot heirloom kill. Without armor regen, it's a 3-shot heirloom kill.
But it's usually 3 heirloom and a conch, no?
Right, or it'd be 2 heirlooms and a conch if you had no armor regen. If it was 1200 HP chicken.
I don't know. I one-shot chickens with a longbow and blast combo. Like they can't heal anyway, so I don't know.
Alright, I'll put it out there as a question then. I put it out there. Yes, no. We'll see what people say.
Does it have to be gold? I'm not sure. Wait.
I think all rarities heal your chicken, not just gold.
No. I mean the blast arrow is 550,
Yes, blast arrow is 550.
and then the
Okay. Everyone's saying no to, so I'm gonna leave it in here. Stop the regen from armor piece.
gold blast plus a gold bow is 1500 damage. I think gold bow, which you're gonna have automatically, plus purple. Yeah, purple blast, bro. Purple blast is enough.
Yep. Yeah, it's gonna vary per weapon, definitely. I'm gonna throw out one more thing. Blady said he, what was it on the sniper? He had a request. He does not want the snipe in air. I don't think I pulled that. Let me pull if people want snipe in air.
Oh yeah.
The thing is that yes, it's gonna be so much fun, but two, it's gonna be kind of broken. So
I think
like
it's-
you
I
have to
think it's-
think broken first over fun.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be just too strong. It's going to make that we have to change too many things on Assassin. It might just break how Assassin feels. Because Assassin right now feels great. It feels so much fun.
Yeah.
So why do we actually want to change that?
Yeah, it would break the game in current state. Absolutely.
Okay. Alright, I'll add 3 options out there. I'll put yes as the assassin is now, no, and yes, but kit nerfs needed.
Oh, what, the third one. I mean, it would be fun as like a public player, but in competitive with really good people, you know, like it's just gonna be a mess.
Oh. Oh, and that's the other one we need to check too is sniper one-shot chicken. That's something Filer didn't like. Smooth Crab also mentioned, so I will also do that.
What would sniper? Wait. Would sniper do like 1150 then, and then chicken 1200?
If chickens are lowered to 1200, it would have to, yeah. It'd have to be something less. I mean, it could be 1180, it could be 1190. It just, yeah, if to reduce that. But I'll pull that as well. So no to sniping in air. I'm gonna add that next to assassin here. Sniping in air.
Thing actually
15
did
no's,
like.
yes with nerfs.
Thing actually did a decent like that. Like I wouldn't hate that. 50% decreased damage when you're midair. But I don't know how you would code that. But like, at least you could have the fun of it. But it's not gonna. How to say? You can have the fun of it, but it's not gonna be overpowered broken. You know?
Okay. Yeah, I can ask that one too.
Like 50% is a lot, right? Like then it will do less than the automatic rifle.
Okay. I'm throwing out another one based on some of the questions I saw in chat or people debating, which is should gold sniper one-shot chickens? And I'll put that next to sniper as well. And I think we had one other question left, which is based on the should sniper be allowed to in air, but get a nerf to the damage dealt if you shoot from air. So the example ping.exe gave was 50% damage if you fire your sniper rifle from there.
Ooh. Like, yeah, that's tough. Like, only while scoped? No scopes would be full damage, or what?
No scope should be equal to that. I feel like if that's the
Yeah.
case.
Yeah, I don't. That's a tough one there.
Okay. All right. Let's see at half damage what people think. So 12 thought they should be able to one-shot chicken. 6 thought they should not. So I'll put that.
I mean, every other class can shoot midair, so I'd rather want people to actually ADS and I don't know.
I still feel like it might, yeah, even half damage might be. I mean, that's like you know, you talk about someone conking, decoying, and then you're getting shot from somewhere you have no idea. You know, you just don't know. I just think it feels bad. It's still over 1,000 damage if they happen to headshot you. Yeah, I don't know. It probably should just not be a thing to shoot, to scope in here. As much fun as it would be.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like is fun worth
Right? No.
not
Yeah.
able
Exactly.
to balance? But I don't know. Like personally, just by looking at numbers, what if the sniper? But then I'm talking about if the sniper itself get nerfed. If it does 1150 damage, if sniper does 1150 damage and you reduce that in half, and you use an ability to get yourself midair, I don't know. I would personally rather only conk and scope midair if people are low and I'm chasing them. But other than that, I don't think I would use it as an engage. You know?
Uh-huh.
Right. It
True,
probably wouldn't
but
be too good as an engage ability or a way to engage a fight.
yeah, it'd be more of like a disengage. You're conking away, turning around, scoping in with someone chasing you when you're low, right?
Yeah. Or get that 360 conk, freaking. He's 400 damage clip. You know? Like,
That's where the fun aspect comes in.
yeah, exactly. So like, I don't know. It's I wouldn't hate it if it was 50% reduced, even 60% reduced damage, because it would kind of be, you know.
Alright, I'm gonna start a raffle since I'm at end of stream. I'm gonna leave that out for now, just based on how contentious it is, and say that research would need to be prioritized. I think at this point it's not really worth it. Just if it's going to require all this work and a lot of people hate it and some people like it, might as well focus on those things that most people like. If anyone wants a skin, there's Kill the Diviner, there's 2 Tropical Travelers, and then there's
You forgot Giant's idea.
box
I don't know what the
size.
idea is, but
What
they're
was
trying to
Giant's
get your
idea?
attention. I'm not sure.
What is Giant's idea?
Oh, the circle endings. Wait, is that what we discussed earlier?
Earlier we
Wait,
discussed the
what?
size changes on the circle endings. Where did he put this?
It's way
I
too
don't see it.
obvious.
He's
Huh?
posting. He's spamming it. You can see it now.
Oh, can
Wait,
we
what?
please push for more
Is-
random circle endings? It's way too obvious where it's going. There isn't a big enough variety. And it still ends way too close to Forge's most games. Yeah. So this would be, yeah, I can put that up under fog. So this would just be having it end in more locations. So add more POIs for it to end on around the map. Tail of Bones, stuff like that.
That's like the opposite of what you were saying earlier. That it's or between the third and
Different.
second. Was it?
So
The second one.
he's not talking about the specific forge shifting. He's talking about where it's actually going.
Yeah. Okay.
So he's saying it's going like a crossing circle end versus a non-crossing end. That non-crossing end might still feel like the forge because it picks a point that's maybe the middle of the ground right next to the forge. So it feels
Yeah.
like a forge ending when it's not.
True. I've seen like
Yeah.
5 different valley endings that's just right outside valley.
Right, exactly. There's still, there's not that many POIs. You can definitely still kind of tell where it's going to pull to.
Let's put it that way. Anything else I missed there? And for anyone who wants one of the skins, just type !raffle.
By the
Typing it multiple
A11
times doesn't help at all.
Urgix guy. Or Allergix. I don't know if it's supposed to be an L or I or 1 or... He tagged you.
Yep.
If it's chicken,
Oh, there we go.
supposed to be a
Our chicken
competitive.
change is based solely on competitive play. Since I can imagine new casual base want to be able to not feel useless as a chicken, I obviously need to find a good common ground. Sorry for repeating. No worries. Sorry I didn't get a chance to respond to that, Allergix. Chickens are, right now, the game is doing its best to balance around competitive and casual. I don't think it's casual base should be forgotten, but I also don't think competitive base should be forgotten. So the question is, what feels good for both, if possible? And 1300 health chickens, I can say a lot of the casual community has been complaining that 1300 health chickens are too tanky and too difficult to kill. Even though they like being a chicken, they don't like facing them. So I don't know that a chicken nerf will actually be bad for casual. It could be good for both casual and competitive.